And I am live. All right, we got to check for audio. Audio. Check for audio. I think I got audio. By George, I think I've done it. All right. Let's see. Hardy hard. Let's see. Let's see. Got 2 people in the live. Three. Think I'm pretty good. All right. So, welcome back, everybody. Greetings, everyone. Put it in the chat. All right. Well, let's see. Today's tech news. What do we have on today's agenda for technology? So let's do the rundown real quick. I got Cybertruck, Microsoft, GM in 2 stories, along with Uber, Instagram, Ford, GM again, pertaining to software, iPhone, 2 stories, vehicles in general, and the future of vehicles, and SpaceX. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. It's all electric, baby. So let's start with this one first. So Microsoft and CloudStrike had a very interesting month and a half. I don't know if anybody really knew what happened unless you were traveling abroad. It really did end up disrupting a lot of the travel worldwide. So let's get this pulled up. So Microsoft is going to host a security conference after this CrowdStrike shutdown. So if you were living underneath a humongous log last month, if you saw the news and it was pretty much prevalent all the worldwide, CloudStrike, a security firm, end up crashing a lot of computers. that was running Windows. Now, I am not a programmer, but from what I've understood about what's been described on different YouTube pages about what had currently happened, CloudStrike pushed a update to their security feature, and in doing so, the it caused the blue screen of death. So we're talking about bus terminals, like advertisement agencies use Windows or use like a small little Windows PC to run ads remotely, and the ability to be able to run the ads remotely, update them remotely. So you got to have security kind of baked in to be able to remote dial in, right? So CloudStrike being like one of the bigger vendors that Microsoft deals with, pushed an update that bricked a lot of people's Windows devices. Now, CloudStrike didn't. I don't feel like CloudStrike ended up doing this due diligence when it came to having so many people using their services, because even like take Samsung or Apple, who pushes updates to cell phones, they don't do a hard push to every single device out there. They'll do it in like rolling stages, depending on like, all right, so if we push it to this stage, what happened? We push it to that stage, what happened? So they didn't do their due diligence when it came to making sure their software was working first. So they just push the update, which that's internal on their end. Common sense kind of tells you not to push a major update that can affect a lot of people all at once. And that's kind of what they end up doing, which was half of the world. So airplane, like not the airplanes were in trouble, being able to process people into the terminals and into being able to take off were compromised because they all use computers. I mean, the last time you saw a flight, they're behind the desk using a computer, and all those things need security. So, and a lot of them are networked. So you're talking about major security flaws can show itself from remote terminals. So that's kind of what CrowdStrike does, is give security where you could have a little bit more peace of mind as a company. But with the company having a problem, that it was something that couldn't be avoided. So so right now, what Microsoft is getting ready to do is hold a event in September on best ways to improve Windows security and avoid another crash. Well, that's going to be kind of interesting because CloudStrike kind of circumvented Microsoft's security feature. So one of the things that was told was, since if you want to push an update to, let's say, a device or devices, you have to get a whole new, what is it called? You need a certificate, but the certificate has to be signed by Microsoft, basically saying, "Hey, you're a trusted partner. Hey, we agree that what you're doing is good." But CloudStrike, I guess, pushes so many updates to keep ahead of different vulnerabilities. They had a workaround where they pushed an update that bypassed Microsoft's security feature, which is kind of funny. You're having a security problem by a company that had a security problem. But one of the reasons why this problem happened is CloudStrike doesn't run OS side; it runs hardware side, which means that they are bare metal. That their code runs bare metal, or AKA it runs directly on the kernel. It runs kernel level operations. So, with that being said, Microsoft is going to have to come up with a different way of running their operating system where people don't have access to kernel level operations. And CrowdStrike, I mean, granted, they support a lot of companies. Even Microsoft is probably a trusted partner, but they even showed vulnerabilities in their dealings. So in July, you had this massive shutdown of everybody's PCs. Now, if you were not part of a CrowdStrike service, you didn't experience this, but you're talking about bus terminals and airplane kiosks and different things that require like high level networking all went down. So with this event scheduled for September 10th, at the headquarters of Redmond, what's that? WA. What is WA? No, West Virginia. It's Washington State. That's probably Washington State. I guess they're going to try to come up with a new way of not having this problem, because at the kernel level, you could do a lot of damage. Which is one of the reasons why when hackers try to hack, they want to get to bare metal, because they could circumvent whatever the software, like the mitigating software that you want to use. They can just get around it if you get to the kernel code. So this is going to be very interesting to see what is going to transpire from this. The CrowdStrike was blamed for shutting down 8.5 million Windows machines. That's pretty big. And given the blue screen of death. So here you go. So I'm interested to probably try to keep up with this. I would like to know what type of mitigations they're going to end up coming up with. But if you go into airplane terminals, you know everything's digitized now. It's quicker to update. You don't have a rolling stream of different updates like the old style had trying to update what flights or what. Those took a while. Maybe we have to go back to the old school with new updated technology. I don't know. Some people might want to feel like that we got to go back to go forward. But these electronic kiosks and terminals are here to stay. But it's going to be nice to see if there's any cybersecurity improvements that come about from this conference. So I'm just curious. Let's see. Let's do the one that hits closer to home for me, since I am an Uber driver. So I am an Uber driver. I do Uber full time. I do YouTube part time until it starts paying better, and then I can go full time. But while I'm waiting for that to happen, I need to hurry up because self-driving cars are coming. They are cometh. All right, so if you don't know anything about the self-driving car scene, I'll give you a quick rundown of what it looks like. You got Waymo, which is a subsidiary of Google/Alphabet that's doing self-driving cars. You have Cruise, which is featured in this article here, and they are a subsidiary of GM. General Motors decided that they wanted to get into the whole self-driving car game. So the problem is GM didn't have a very good track record when it came to their self-driving cars. But now, I guess after they fired a couple people, they're back into the game now, and they are partnering with Uber next year to offer autonomous vehicles that you can order on the app. Now, as somebody who pays attention to this space, it's going to be very, very interesting how this is going to end up going, because self-driving cars are going to be the bane of my existence as a person who drives on the road and picks people up. Hold on one second. Carlos S. Tech, Mr. Funny Man himself. Hold on. You're going out of business soon, Keon. Time to move to Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats, sir. Less stress. Look, man, they're moving into that whole realm too. You've probably seen the robots that's running down the road by themselves, and they got food or packages or whatever in them. You know, though they're trying to replace us regardless of where we are, man. Any kind of way to get rid of the human being. But one of the bigger things, especially what's coming down the pipeline, is how safe are these vehicles, and how far along is the technology for these for self-driving. Now, I have dabbled with it per se at the limited that I've been able to do, and I'm not saying, I don't want to sit over here and act like I want to say that self-driving vehicles are not coming. I think that at certain levels, there's going to be some type of safe self-driving component to a lot of people's vehicles. But I want to go as far as to say that it's going to be more safety features than it's going to end up being full self-driving, even though Waymo and Cruise, the way that they do it is totally different than the way that Tesla does it. Hold up. Carlos said something else. Said those won't work. They stopped in LA use because people were stealing the food from them and tipping them over. Hey, it's the trolley problem. That's part of the problem with a lot of these autonomous vehicles. It's the trolley problem. And if a lot of people don't really know what the trolley problem is, and this has been talked about by computer engineers. They said that because a person knows what a said program can or cannot do, then what you're going to do is try to figure out how you can trip it up, get it to do what it can't do, or cause it to freeze or lock up. Which goes back to the fact that LA has stopped. He said that LA has stopped the use of it because people know that it needs to go down the road. They get in front of it. They put cones up. They want to block the way it wants to go in. One of the famous things that happened with Cruise was people were walking around with cones and sticking cones on top of the hood. So the vehicle just stopped working because it sees a cone in its camera and it doesn't know how to drive around it because every time it tries to move, the cone follows. So how do you write code for people's nefarious actions? It's going to become way more, how can I say, it's going to become way more difficult as you start putting these said products on the road. Then you got to put protections on the road saying, hey, it's illegal for you to touch these vehicles while they're in use. But then people are going to be like, hey, what happens if I'm wrong? I come along and then it hit me, which what happened with Cruise through GM. This vehicle, one of their autonomous vehicles hit a pedestrian last year, which is why they went offline for a while and then came back on now. See? So the problem that you run into is how much protections do you put for autonomous vehicles over, let's say, pedestrians or just people on the road? These are going to become issues over time that we haven't even sorted out yet at all. But the self-driving cabs, the reason why I feel such a strong opinion about this is because it's been getting a lot of money of late, I say within the last 15, 20 years. Mr. Aries, what's up, sir?
For my
What up, though? Yo, so I'm talking about the self-driving cars, and I'm being replaced.
Yep, you are being replaced. This is true.
Oh Lord.
What? I mean, I showed you my cousin out there in Arizona, bro.
Look,
Showed you.
man.
He was showing that he wasn't getting no rides. The damn Waymos, man.
Uh
I'm just saying, bro. He was like, "Well, there goes all the rides." He was sitting next to one of them. He said, "I ain't got hit all night. He's getting hit.
but
You better
there,
learn how
there,
to. You
there.
better learn how to make repairs on a Waymo car."
Hey, at the rate this going, I'm gonna have to learn how to make some damage to the vehicles. You know, pop a couple tires, put a couple cones on top of the hood.
They're bringing them to Uber. Yeah. So I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, they're bringing them. I look, I'm
Time
already.
for
I got
time
already.
for
I
the
got already
post
planned my
office.
exit.
Time for the post office.
Don't say that, man.
Hey, what? What? I'm just
Oh
keeping
God,
it.
I have to. Look, my wife gave me a time frame now, man. She done gave me a
Post
time
office.
frame. A time post office in my future, dog.
Yes, sir.
Uh, but
You
yo,
got one. You
so
got
here's
one
the
more
thing.
job.
So I look, my take on this is I feel that the amount of work they're gonna do to try to replace us drivers, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how much they're charging customers already, on top of not trying to pay drivers, and then you're going to introduce self-driving cars into this, which I feel that there's going to be enough people that don't care, right? So there's a lot of people that don't like people, right? There's a lot of people that just don't like other people, and they'll rather sit in a car by themselves than have somebody actually do the job for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, I don't want to sit here and dismiss information that I come across, because there's enough. Like, I picked up this one lady, she was like overjoyed talking about it. And I'm like, she didn't even seem like she cared whether or not it would cause me to lose my job. She was just like, oh, you just push a button and the car shows up, and then guess what? I just get in it and it's take me where I want to go, and I don't have to talk to nobody. She was excited for not talking to nobody.
Yeah. It's intimate, private. It becomes more intimate, which in a lot of cases could be better.
Well,
Which is why
I,
people don't like riding the bus.
yeah,
We're out here in the country. We all have private cars. We can play our music as loud as we want to. There's nobody we have to deal with or be judged by. We can have private
that's true.
conversations with our wives, and or I'm just saying, like, there's downsides to being driven by a person.
That's true. Hey, but you know what? I mean, as somebody who's been doing it for as long as I have, I don't pay attention to people's conversations like that
It doesn't
unless,
matter. It's not
I
about
mean,
what you're doing. It's about how they feel.
oh
What
no,
you're
no,
doing
no.
is irrelevant.
Believe me when I tell you, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just saying that other drivers be all up in people's, Kool Aid, trying to figure out what the flavor is.
What I'm saying is, even if not one driver ever did it ever, if not one driver ever was on somebody's business, it still wouldn't matter
Oh
because
yeah, because
because people have to self govern themselves regardless, and they rather not be governed. You see what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah. Hey, I've
So
learned
it's
that.
one of
I've learned
those
that.
things.
I've been learning that lesson for a while now.
That's just
But
like I looked at this. I was watching the thing earlier, and it's talking about like what is an ego, right? And the
yeah,
guy said, he was saying that an ego is your vision of who you are, not who you are. Like your ego is like your movie character of you, right?
ah,
And then like it's the movie character you've made of yourself in your head, and that
yeah,
is the character that you keep trying to make sure you keep intact to the outside world. That's your ego, but it's not who you actually are, right? So the homeboy. So, so what I'm saying is, right, when a person gets in that car and they've got the Uber driver, that conversation they might have had with their girlfriend, they now have to like edit it or just not talk at
Yeah,
all, or they
yeah,
basically
I know what you mean.
they yeah, they have to put their ego on and not themselves in
Yeah,
that
look,
situation.
I fully understand that. Hey, look, I am in my look, my alter ego. I am a crime fighting
Oh my
super
lord.
nerd that plays video games and watch anime.
Well, that's the misnomer, right? So that's what this, but that's not your alter. Yeah, you're saying that's your alter ego, but that's not your ego, because your alter ego is the person you could never be.
That's I
Your
can't animate
ego is
myself.
the ego. The ego is what you envision you are. Your alter ego is what you can never be, and then the real
Oh,
you is just the little bitch inside that wants to get out. but
hey,
but the ego keeps telling you like, nah, dog, you got to be this.
step up to the
Homeboy
plate,
said,
sir.
homeboy said, so what happens when your ego tell you to kill somebody? Does your ego go to prison with you, or like does it get out?
Oh,
I
yo, hey,
said,
so. Hey, what's up, EM, man? Hey, EM, so what's your ego, sir? What is yours?
What is it, bro? I don't know. I don't think about myself like that, bro.
no, well, it's not
I'm
about
just
thinking
here.
about
I'm just
yourself.
vibing, bro.
You're what we were saying. We were talking about how people have to edit themselves in certain environments, right?
Yeah,
And the reality is, the person you show to the outside is a representation of your ego. Who you really
like,
are may be slightly different from your ego, but you still have chosen what you project to the world and how you address the world, how you come off, how you dress. All these things are part of your ego, but they're not necessarily who you are, because there's a lot of things you might do if no one's looking.
hey, so let me ask you a question.
My thing though is like I feel like the less you take the human interaction out of things, the more unhinged people are gonna get over
Oh
time.
no,
I think
people
so.
people are already unhinged though, right? But what I'm saying is their ego is the only thing keeping them in check.
Right. So I feel like you take that out of the equation, and people are gonna go bananas.
But that's what I'm saying though. People want to be themselves. They don't want to be their egos, which is
They
part of
want
why they're already bananas, because they're walking around pretending to be somebody they ain't as it is.
so now they want to ride home and talk on the phone with a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever,
Think about
and be that person that they can't be in front of other people.
yeah, think about that guy, right? That's gonna sing the Rihanna song to the top of his freaking lung because no one's around. Okay, he's not doing that in the car with the Uber driver. Okay,
Oh,
so he's suppressing who he really is in order to satisfy his ego.
hey, look, you know what? As a Uber driver, I let people choose the music they want to listen to in my car,
And believe me,
and
they still edit
and
what
a
they
lot
choose
of
in
people
most cases.
a lot of people do choose the safe bet, and the reason why I can tell is because you can tell, like, if you ask anybody what their music of choice, there's a safe choice and then there's their real choice. And when you hesitate, you're thinking about the safe choice.
Yep.
Yeah, look, you don't want to say that you be listening to Beyonce, Ride 'em Cowgirl or whatever. You don't want to say that.
Yeah, that'd be like me putting on Glorilla, and I'm in there singing Glorilla to the top of
see,
my lungs. Okay, see,
hey,
I
go
had
radio.
I had to admit that like the music she makes is completely ratchet, but there is moments where I catch myself singing Glorilla lyrics. Now, do I want all the homeboys to know that I'm in the motherfucking car talking about beat a hoe in some Gucci shoes? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want my boss to see me do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I mean, hey, from time look, Megan Stallion from time to time, and I kept saying that same line, hands on your knees, hands on your knees.
I'm just saying, but no, man. That just lets I think. But see, it's the thing though, right? It's not necessarily that removing too much human interaction in, because we already ride around in our own private vehicles all the time. All the self-driving cars put you right back as if you're in your own car again, basically. So you're
That's
not
true.
really changing
That's
human
true.
dynamics. Yeah, you're not changing human dynamics. We technically change human dynamics by putting all these Ubers out with drivers in them. Technically, we're
My,
kind of
but
going right back to normal people not riding with complete strangers all the time.
But you know what? My question is this: is I see what they've done, and I like I said, I pay attention to this space. But the question is how far do you think they can take this to be able to replace drivers completely, or is their technology still limited?
Oh, it's still limited,
I
but
think
it's
it's the
only going to
latter
get
for
better.
sure. Yeah, it's going to continue to evolve and get more advanced, and it's going to take time, but eventually, yeah, it's
And
gonna.
here's the thing:
Because
don't
because my
let
thing
it take off and it actually do well. That's just going to speed up the development of it because there's going to be more people putting money in that pot to make sure the research is done to make it better and better and better.
because my take on this is it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to kind of work.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Like it doesn't like for me I see like when people are willing to bend over backwards for their own personal convenience. So like the self-driving car is not going to go up the alleyway and around the corner, which I get asked to do some weird stuff because they know as a human being they can request it from. But when the self-driving car pulls up, they're going to stop at the corner and be like, "This is your destination." They're not going to be like, "Well, I live around the cul-de-sac, around the edge, down the hill. You got to go all the way down there." They're not going to ask you to do that. It's going to do just enough to be able to do its job, and that's it. And I think that people are still going to be perfectly satisfied with that.
Have you met a New York cab driver?
Oh, dog, I
They
have.
don't. They ain't that nice. They ain't going around the corner because you live.
Nah, but hey, look, I'm just going off of what I get requested. Like, I get the weird requests. Hey, look, I've had people where I pull up, there's traffic on the other side. I'm barely in the middle of the road trying to wait for them to cross the road. They're like, "I need you to U-turn and come around." The self-driving car is not going to do that. Oh, you didn't get in? All right, cool. We're going to charge you. We're going to take off.
I feel you, but I mean, you better learn how to work on them self-driving cars. That's all I got to tell you.
I'm going to learn how to break them. That's what I'm going to do.
Man, you just admitted to a felony on here, sir. Watch yourself.
I am not doing anything such, man. I'm just saying that I was just looking at how the fact that like the company I drive for is actively trying to move away from drivers as fast as they possibly can. Waymo is in DC now. Now, all their testing they were doing was around Capitol Hill. So I see the Capitol Hill crowd going away. But it's so funny that the autonomous vehicles are going to end up making like getting cancellation fees for free, basically. Whereas I have to sit in the middle of traffic. I got Capitol Police looking at me going, "You need to move. You need to move. Don't bully. You turn here." Uber drivers getting tickets left and right, but the self-driving car is going to get away with murder. They're gonna literally just give them a whole big old pass. Oh, the self-driving car is waiting for the customer. We're gonna let them wait. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, "Oh, it's a self-driving car. Don't worry." Put a human being in the car. Oh, you're a danger to national security.
Well, Keanu's really trying to save himself from this. He's trying to talk his way out of this thing as hard as he can.
Oh no. Look, I already saw the writing on the wall before. I'm just saying, like, I have to know what's coming down the pipeline. That's just me. Yeah, I just find it funny that Uber's partnering up with Cruise, which they already heard of pedestrian before. Self-driving cars supposed to be safer. Now it's endangering the public.
I don't know about that. So when you say that, you're implying that humans are not doing that as well.
I didn't say that. I just say that, hey,
What do you mean is that
whatever the
the
self-driving
least,
car does, it needs to be better than what I can do.
that's not true though.
What do you mean?
It don't. It only has to be cheaper than you. That's it.
Oh Lord. See.
You think they're in the meeting like, How can we be safer? No, they're like, how can we get more money?
Hey, look, man, I'm just saying, if what your solution is not going to be safer than what is
That
already
was
on the
never the
road,
purpose. That was never the
yeah,
purpose.
that's
That was
true.
never the purpose. So you're setting a goal for them that does not exist in their brain.
Oh no. When it comes to corporations, we already know that goal does not exist. It is, can we get rid of the human being as fast as possible?
And considering over 10,000 people die in regular cars every year, I don't really see how you can justify the EV all of a sudden being the people killer.
True. Hey, look.
Just this week in my little small town, it only had 3 stoplights. 3 teenagers died in a car wreck. Another man got hit by a drunk driver about a mile from there, and a little kid got ran over and killed.
Oh, dang.
There was no self-driving cars involved, sir.
That's true.
You can look it up right now.
Hey, look, I'm just saying that it has
We're
to.
doing 100 mile an hour in an Infiniti G35, doing 100 mile an hour, lost control. The first kid died. He died because he burned alive in the car. The other ones have been dying one by one to hospital.
Dang.
And the other guy, he was minding his business driving correctly, and a drunk driver killed him. I'm just saying.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, man. I drive at nighttime. People always thinking that driving at night is easier. I'm like, no, drunk drivers exist in my realm.
Yeah,
I get people
with drunk drivers.
Do what?
You out there playing Frogger with drunk drivers?
Man, I'm trying not to. Look. I literally every intersection I look both ways, even though I got green light, because I don't want to get surprised by get T-boned. I don't want to get T-boned at full speed.
The guy that got killed, the dude was coming in the oncoming lane and swerved into his lane.
Oh man! Last night somebody came down the one way the wrong way. Now I blame DC for a lot of that issue, because if you don't know how to navigate DC, you just think that the street is a one way. I mean, a two way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's complicated. But so Ian, what you think, man? Do you think I'm about to lose my job, sir, in another year and a half?
If I were you, I would consider your options. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be next year and a half, but it's definitely on the horizon.
It's coming.
I think we got a long way to go before the telemetry and the autonomous systems get to a point where they are better than a human. But the human element really is the worst factor when it comes to driving and safety. So,
amen.
as someone who does a lot of driving for a living, you're always watching out for idiots on the road.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Plus, if you think about it,
passed me in the grass the other day. You know how crazy you got to be to pass somebody on a 6-lane highway in the grass?
Oh God.
No, here's the best part though about all these autonomous vehicles. You don't have to worry about getting, if you get into an accident with an autonomous vehicle that's owned by some company, you don't got to be worried about getting hit by someone who doesn't have insurance and can't pay their deductible or whatever. Like, that's a huge thing for me. Like, worried about getting into an accident with someone who doesn't have insurance.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, it's the same exact problem. Look, with my insurance, that's what I fear more than anything. Not so much as getting hit, is that, do they have insurance also? And a lot of people love driving around the Washington, D.C. area without insurance.
They're the reason all of our premiums keep going up.
That's true. Hey, look, I don't know how they keep letting people with not driver's license, people with just vehicles and registration drive around without it. Oh man! Look, if a police officer can ride up behind you and read your tags, they need to do that more often to get some of these people without insurance off the road.
But don't worry, it is coming.
It needs to happen a whole lot sooner.
Oh, I'm talking about the car itself stopping because your insurance is lapsed. It's coming.
Ooh,
It's coming. You just mark my word.
Yeah.
your vehicle cannot move. It's not insured.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it'll go into like a limp mode. It'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
you could ride 9 miles an hour.
And you can only drive to the insurance office.
Please update your insurance card into the console ahead.
Yeah, I tell you, it's coming because just like here, they were talking about not putting stickers on plates anymore. These things, which the stickers already don't matter at this point. They're an ornament because if any cop runs your plate, they know your name, they know about your whole driving history, they know if your insurance is active, they know everything about that vehicle just from the plate.
Yeah,
But it's going to come a point where the newer cars are probably going to start having some form of like I'm going to just go ahead and call it like a eSIM almost. That
ooh.
will literally trigger and go every time you put the key in. Up, your insurance is lapsed, and the car just won't crank.
Hey, speaking of vehicles, and now I know that y'all look. I know y'all nerds know about this one, so I'm gonna pull this one up. So nationwide, will nationwide vehicle to X gain traction?
Vehicle to X. What is
Vehicle to like everything.
probably, and people are going to be mad as crap. But I mean, but go ahead. Let's read it. Read about it. Let's
Well,
see.
okay, so here's
Deep.
the thing. So Vehicle to X supposedly already started being worked on today, but now they're trying to reform the spectrum that they were going to end up really using, and now they're moving towards 5.9 gigahertz frequency to start using it. But the question I'm having for you guys is do you see vehicle to infrastructure or vehicle to vehicle being something that we're going to end up relying on? And they're talking about by 2036.
Oh, people are going to be very upset about it because of obvious reasons. But
Because you just said that your insurance is going to be able to you're going to have to upload your insurance information, or the vehicle is going to have to be updated, which means that's infrastructure. You know, let's say that Washington D.C. is tired of all these uninsured drivers. Well, the vehicle is going to have to talk to their infrastructure, and as soon as you drive in, if your insurance doesn't work, you got to turn around and leave.
Nah, I'm saying your car ain't gonna crank.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like in the small term, like it's gonna start off small and then work its way out.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. I've already foreseen this, man. I remember maybe 15 years ago, I talked to some engineers whenever I was working on doing a mechanic school and stuff, and they were talking about it back then, bro. They were talking about cars reporting your speeding on you back then. So like, they're like, yo, they go to these trade shows and stuff, and they were seeing this type of stuff 15, 20 years ago. Talk about your car telling on you, your car reporting you.
But okay, but here's the thing: if that's the case, see, if that's the case, then they might as well make it where every vehicle has to do cruise control on certain roads, then, because a lot of people that's speeding are going to be the ones that's on these freeways.
You got that, and like I said, we already started. The cars have already been slowly adding features like automatic braking, and lane departure. All these things are just components that just get more and more into the car, to the point that even the cars that are not self-driving would end up being self-driving without, if you get what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Hey, look, it's already been proven that human beings are not good when it comes to traffic. Okay, as vehicles get closer to each other, we become more skittish, which means that we tap the brakes more. We're more nervous as we get around more people. But a computer can actually just be like, "All right, cool, we're just going to drive, and we'll just do it ourselves." Boom. Let the vehicle.
Yeah. You know what's going to be the worst part, though? You're going to see it. Insurance companies are going to start raising rates on people who don't own modernized vehicles just because.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, "Oh, you don't have the V2X, you don't have the automatic braking, you don't have this, you don't have that. Here's your insurance increase." So you'll have a component of the population angry about the whole thing because they're going to get hit for extra insurance dollars, right? Because they're trying to avoid this thing, like at some point. So obviously, it's going to be a big fight. This whole thing's going to be a big fight. You better believe it. It's going to trigger. It's going
It's
to
gonna
trigger
be
a
a huge fight.
lot. Yes, it's going to be
Hey, look,
bad.
look,
It's going to
because
be
here's the
ugly.
thing: as somebody who drives a lot, I think there's some people that should not get a driver's license. But they find a way to get it constantly. They keep
A
getting to
driver's
find a way
license is
to.
a driver's license is arguably more dangerous than a gun.
Uh,
Like really, like way more dangerous than a weapon.
oh, hey, look. So, Carlos S. Tech says, yeah, thanks to the Biden infrastructure bill in 2022, it put in this car, I guess the car that he's driving, um, the ability to activate, I guess, to activate a system like that. Uh,
Mhm.
Hey, look, man. I'm on the fence about this because I drive around a lot of idiots all day, right? And if you telling me that for a peace of mind, like I don't have to worry about some just stupid person deciding that they need to flex on with their charger and run up on me because I'm driving down the road because they
Oh,
decided, hey, that exit won't their exit, but they need to get in front of me and
funny
take
you
off
should
my front bumper.
funny you should mention that because you know how we talk about these chargers. They're just basically pole finders. You know what I'm saying? And then their owners are basically like dead brain people. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what random parking lot you're sitting in America. Observe the Dodge owner.
Oh God.
You see what I'm talking about?
I
These are
see
the
it.
people that need V2X on their car to turn that shit.
Golly. You said,
See, look,
hey, look, you
that
said they're
that it
pole
was
finders.
yeah, they know how to find every light pole in the neighborhood. You ever need a light pole, just get near Dodge owner.
Dang.
That's what you ain't never heard that in the South, Kia.
No, I never heard that,
When
but it
anybody
makes
see you,
sense.
when they see you with a fast car, they go, "Damn boy, that's a pole finder."
Oh, bro.
Motherfucker, you hit it just right, it's gonna find every light pole on the way down the road.
If anything,
Yeah.
they're a nuisance to utilities.
Hey, did not tell you that we had a girl hit a pole and then a guy in a charger come right behind and hit her after she hit the pole? But I don't mean he hit her like seconds later. He hit her an hour later.
Oh God.
Hey,
What was that pole? Was that pole like mad at the world? It was cursing at people like, "Yo, you can't hit me!
no,
You can't hit me!"
the girl was driving drunk and the guy in the charger thought he was hot stuff, trying to drive crazy.
Oh Jesus!
Going so fast that when he runs up on the scene of an accident, he runs through the police barricade. And it's just, the car
Wow,
is already wrecked. So yeah, these are the people we have to be around. They ruin it for everybody.
that's crazy.
Just like
But you know what?
the kid
But
that did
that
100
see,
miles an hour with no experience on the back road, and he just killed a bunch of his friends. I mean, hey, cars are.
but that's the problem that we're going to be running into. And I know, look, I've talked to Carlos. I know how
Oh,
he feels about technology, man.
I
I
don't want it
understand,
either.
but
I don't want it on my car, right? But I understand. You see what I'm saying?
the problem at hand is is public safety. Hey, look,
Yes.
I know that the thrill of the American thrill is to cheat the law and drive as fast as you can. Like that's just about as American we can get. That's America. But yo, like if your reckless driving affects you, sure, no problem. Good. Jump off that cliff as many times as you like. But when your reckless driving endangers me, and I'm out here driving, look, I'm
Yeah.
driving Miss Daisy. I got the cruise control on. I'm, paying attention to all my. And here you come flying down the road and knock me off the road. And now I become a victim of your circumstance too.
But
I
remember,
don't
people,
know.
it's gonna be the same argument as with the gun, though, right? The truth of the matter is, people care more about their rights than they do about other people. So other people can
Yeah.
die. We don't care as long as we have a right. The other people can die. No one cares. Welcome to America.
Yeah, that's true.
It is what it is, you know. And so it says, you know, how do you protect people while also not infringing their rights? Well, the answer is you can't.
But
The
here's the
real
thing:
answer
the
is you can't.
vehicle,
No,
but the vehicle, the X is. That, I think that's one of the reasons why it's going to take longer for it to gain traction. I don't see it happening anytime soon because we're supposed to already be within this network of vehicle to grid, vehicle to vehicle already.
but you got to realize who. So like you know, Carlos attributed to Bidenomics. Cool, whatever, right? But the point is, the number one person, and it doesn't matter who the president is. The number one people that want this is going to be the insurance companies. They're going to be the ones lobbying
Mhm.
for this. And they don't give a damn who the president is. They're going to be spending money and getting behind all candidates so they can make sure it happens. Because then they can do two things with it. They
But
can,
then
once again, they can add things to the list that they get to charge you for
that's true.
not having. It has happened over and over again. If you go all the way back and you look at what they give you discounts are on like car insurance, bro, that list is 10 times longer than it ever used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
To the point that they were literally like trying to tell people, hey, plug this thing in your ODB port and we'll give you a discount as long as you don't drive crazy. Just saying,
Yeah.
this is like, hey, every car already got it. Every car
Hey, look,
already got the sensor on it. And so so this was gonna happen to you, right? You're gonna go to switch insurances, and when you show up at that insurance office, they're gonna be like, yeah, we'll take you on, but we just need to download your last 6 months of driving from the car.
oh,
You see?
oh,
You
Lord.
see? I'm just telling you, they're gonna be like, yeah,
The vehicle's gonna snitch on me.
you did 80 this morning, dog. Like, what's up? I'm just
Where
telling
would you
you.
go? Dog, you know how when you going in for like a new loan or whatever, and they go, why do you still owe Comcast?
Yeah, that phone bill from that happened to me whenever I bought my house. They said, hey, you owe Verizon like $800. I said, oh, I still owe that.
Man,
I called Verizon. I called the not Verizon, but I called the bill, the collector who had it, and I only gave him $120, and that shit went away. And I walked right back in and said, okay, I paid it. I said, they said, well, when they send you the email or the mail verifying that you in fact paid it, we'll give you the home loan.
wow.
Real talk, that's facts.
Dog, so you saying that by the time this starts rolling out, because like I said, I drive a Tesla, so I know all that telemetry data is built into the car.
Mhm.
Uh, they're gonna be hey, they're gonna be like, well, we need your passcode, or we need you to give us authorization to your vehicle so we can check your history. That's what's gonna start happening because you could download these different apps to like interface with the car, and the car gives you all this telemetry data just through the app. It tell you how many times I've charged it, how fast I've been driving, different other information. You can see this filtering down to other vehicles easy. Oh God! Now you're talking about a continuous network stream. That's gonna be crazy. What about you, Ian? What you think?
Everything already said is unfortunately very true. We're
um,
moving to a very dystopian future. That's all I gotta say.
What, dystopian in a good way or bad, sir?
Dystopian implies that it's not good.
Uh,
Dystopian is the antithesis of a utopia.
that's true. That's true.
I don't like data collection. I don't like the profile building. It's very scary.
But these companies, they want more data. But here's the thing. Now, what happens when what we were talking about our conversation earlier about self driving? Then who's in charge? See, I mean, like you said, like you just said, it's easier. It's better to have a company with a self driving vehicle hit you than it would be some random person off the street because they're going to be insured.
Yeah, but the other side of that argument is that then you're going to have insurance companies that aren't going to want to insure regular drivers because then technically you are the risk.
Yeah,
Yep.
true. Yeah.
So
And it's like cyclical thing that's just going to keep happening over time.
We're talking about driver safety, and my wife just called, and you know what she called to tell me?
What she tell you?
She called to tell me that she didn't realize that one of them kids in the car was one of her classmates' sons.
Oh no!
She hadn't spoken to her in years. See,
Dang.
what are the odds of my wife just calling me in the middle of the podcast to tell me that?
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He's 15 years old. That's
Yo,
human
look.
driving for you, bro.
Hey, look, man. I as a a driver, and I've been driving for a while. I did some stupid stuff. Shoot, I ended up getting my car stuck in a ditch on a back dirt road because I was I was playing around, and rear wheel drive and dirt roads don't go together.
You know, you was playing footsie with Mitchell. You're around the
road. Lord!
Try to clean that up.
I had other people in the car, sir. I had other people, multiple people.
Oh, so and I was stuck on a bang. I got you.
Oh, see. From time to time, see. Now you woke up. You woke up for your nap, didn't you?
What nap? I'm not working still, sir. I'm out here on call right now, man. So I'm feeling violent.
I see. But yeah, look, I just as I read these articles like stuff like this, I do see like insurance companies gonna want like more data. The plug this into your ODB2 port so we can know what you're doing mantra is only going to start gaining more traction, which I hate to say it, Carlos, but it's coming. You're gonna be riding a scooter. They're gonna want the data from that too.
They're gonna be like, the scooter says you took your foot off the pad 3 times while riding. They were like, sir, were you sliding your feet? Because that is not. You should not be doing tricks.
That's not safe. That's not safe. The wheel left the ground for 2.5 seconds. Were you doing tricks?
We see here that you rode a wheelie on the scooter for the entire Las Vegas Strip. Sir, this is unacceptable.
Oh.
About to raise your rates now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, so I briefly talked to No Radio about this one, and EM, I don't know, did you see the Whistling Diesel video about the Cybertruck?
What, and how it's a piece of shit? Yeah.
Keon, I'm dead because I watched it after you sent it, and they literally said look. If you remember correctly, I started talking about metallurgy and everything, and I never even watched it. I never even watched the video, and they were like, and I was like, "Damn, I'm a fucking nerd." How did I give you the entire breakdown that he literally does in the video, and I never watched it?
Because we are nerds. That's why we are pure nerds.
Jesus.
But look, here's the problem. Everybody's nerdism is not the same. Okay, everybody's nerdism is not the same. So when this video first got posted, which I think it's like above 20 million right now, right? Way above like 20 million. So obviously destroying a Cybertruck is just fun to do and it gets you a lot of views. But this guy has been known for destroying vehicles, period. Okay. I didn't even know this man's channel existed until I saw the Cybertruck flying through the air as a thumbnail. I was like, that's not real.
So you missed the good years.
Hey, you know what? There's only but so much destruction I can take.
Like, I watched Whistling Diesel like God knows probably over 10 years ago. It's because he was doing wild stuff like putting spikes instead of wheels on cars.
Yeah.
And like driving them through fields and shit. I was into that kind of crazy stuff, That was not really him just destroying stuff. That was just him building monstrosities.
So that since I watched that whole thing now I'm getting shown a lot of his other stuff. Yeah. And like he put a Tesla upside down to see if it will drive. Like big humongous wheels, and I haven't seen the spike wheels drive yet, but that's probably gonna be coming. But But here's the thing. Here's the thing. So if you haven't seen this video, go watch this. But the problem at hand was he's doing this torture test. Like the first thing they do when he gets the Cybertruck into I guess where he's filming it, they literally drive it off the trailer and it hits the rear end hard and he pulls off and goes, "Oh, look what we did." And you're like, "Ooh, that gotta hurt." He does the same exact thing to the F-150. Okay. So he's doing tit for tat. Whatever he does on one, he's doing on the other. Okay. Now, the controversial part comes when the F-150 gets stuck on these big concrete, like, what do you call those? It's like they put those in underground. I don't even know what they call those concrete, but they call them concrete berms or whatever. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, close enough.
But the F-150 gets stuck. They put a chain on the Cybertruck to pull the F-150 off of it. The front wheels grab hold of a lip, and the bumper comes off the Cybertruck. And he's right there like, "Yo, this is not good." He ends up saying like, "Yo, what happens if a boat it hits a bumper the right speed? Boom! All of a sudden, your bumper comes off." Well, this man proceeds to get trolled by all the other YouTubers, which I call the Elon Musketeers, which hey, they exist.
That's gonna have to stick.
Yes, the Elon Musketeers, man. That's one of the reasons why Rich don't do electric vehicles no more. Like if he does, he'll just do it kind of sparingly because he put a video up that was bad about Tesla, and they reported it saying it was like something bad.
Yep.
So
but that's what I say. These people give Elon way too much credit. And they just can't. They in their brain they have decided that this man is some type of like amazing genius. He's on the floor designing everything on this truck. Well, you know what? Let's say he is, and he's the one responsible for designing that bumper. Then, because you got to give him credit for what he does right, then you got to give him credit for what he's wrong.
What he does wrong.
He also designed the shitty back bumper. Then, now they're gonna be like, "Well, no, don't backpedal." and the person I'm talking about knows who they are.
Oh Lord! But
look on this such genius engineer. Don't back.
But here's the thing. Hey, first I want to find out. Did you watch the video?
He said, "Yeah."
Oh, he watched it. Okay. So obviously, I'm sitting here like the whole time, like, "Ooh, that's not good." Now, I went further than you did. You already knew about metallurgy, okay? But I watched how they made the vehicle, and I've seen like the teardowns of this vehicle too, okay? I've seen the teardowns. The problem is Ford built a aluminum body on a steel frame, okay? The Cybertruck is a steel body on an aluminum frame.
That is like that is like towing an army tank with a Honda Civic. Okay, why would you do that? That is like me putting a 50-pound weight on a slice of bread. Like,
yes, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So this is the nerd side, right? So if anybody get a chance, I encourage you to go to the YouTube channel Monroe Live. They professionally dismantle the whole Cybertruck down to its frame, and then they talk about like the unibody setup, the castings. One of the reasons why you can start seeing why this is a problem, because when I saw that it was a casting and it's not, how can I say, it's not one of those body on frame type ordeals. You start thinking more like, okay, this can't really be a truck because there's nothing that really holds the whole truck together. Those steel frames that run the length of the truck is what holds the whole vehicle together. On a Cybertruck, basically, the castings are put together. Basically, it's like Lego sets. They make a whole bunch of rear ends. They make a whole bunch of front ends. They got the battery pack. They bolt the battery pack to the front end and the back end, and then bam, him saying, "Thank you, ma'am. You got a truck." Or they call it a car, which is so weird to keep hearing people who say they're selling a Cybertruck and call it refer to as a car. That's just sad. But the aluminum frame is what snapped. Now, no, Ares, if and when he jumps back in again, the problem with the aluminum frame is they designed it in such a way for up and down torque. So the casting is molded in such a way that it's to resist up and down movement. So we're talking about like if you dropped it from like 100 feet up, the casting won't snap in pieces. Okay. But the problem is when you tow, you're towing laterally. And the casting is not designed for lateral movement. It's designed for up and down movement, which is why that's why it broke.
Well, here's my other problem with this whole situation, right? Why is it even casted in the first place?
Because it's cheaper.
Exactly.
It's cheaper because like you just said, like you was telling me, basically the way that you get aluminum, this is what you told me, the way you get aluminum is you mix steel and tin.
Well, the steel and tin are steel and iron. It's a mix of multiple things, but the more steel you remove from it, the weaker it is.
Right. So the way they do casting is they put that molted aluminum into a cast, and the cast is all one piece. That's why when you look at if you go to Monroe Live, you see that you can tell it's one piece. It's not a multiple section piece, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They should not be casting any vehicle frames on anything whatsoever. You want forged steel, and you just have to spend the money to do the actual. To make it strong, you have to just actually spend the money to do the fabricating, to make each of the pieces that build that frame and then weld it together.
What's up, Reader John?
Try to pour the thing in one cheap cast and then think it's going to last. Good luck with that crap.
Hey, look. Now, here's the thing. With the way they cast it, it's rigid. Its durability is going to be in the vertical axis, okay, up and down. The problem is towing is in the horizontal axis. So as soon as it sees torque or any type of pull in the horizontal, that's where it snapped at. And
what I'm saying is there's no way to cast anything to do both anyway.
Yeah, no, you have to pick. You have to pick one.
And there's nothing. If you notice, when the Ford did bend, it didn't snap.
Right.
It didn't snap because it's not casted. It didn't matter how Ford designed it for up and down or lateral. That doesn't matter.
Right. The properties of steel don't allow it to just snap.
Well, I'm saying it's not that it's just steel. It's that it's forged steel, because there's cast steel as well. But what I'm saying is that we've discussed before. For some people that don't know the difference, a forged piece is literally hot molten metal that is poured into a form. That doesn't matter what type of metal it is. That's called forging. That's called casting. When you forge something, you cut that part from a solid piece of metal. You don't pour anything when they pour the sheet, yes, they pour the sheet, but then the sheet is literally, the part is cut out of it.
Right.
Not they pour the part into shape. No, they cut the part into shape, which adds way more integrity, and they're able to temper that. It's really hard to temper cast. You can't temper cast. Cast turns to dust whenever you begin to manipulate it. Steel just bends; it doesn't turn to dust.
Well, I understand that rear end just snapped off, man. I mean,
it had no way to bend. Anything casted can't bend. If you try to bend casting, it just snaps. Go get you a die cast Hot Wheels car. If you try to bend it, it's just going to snap. It's not going to bend. It's going to snap.
Which what's funny? That's what gave Elon the idea to start doing castings, is because he saw how Hot Wheels made so many cars so fast.
That's a terrible idea.
Yes.
I'm gonna model my car after a fake car that represents a real car.
Because that's what toy companies do. They make a whole lot of parts very fast, very quickly, and that's why you can just pour like the plastic into a mold, and you can make that you can just repeat that process so often.
I hope he gets the biggest lawsuit because he deserves it for this mess.
Hey,
Hey,
so
you see
Ian,
what he showed in that video that the family said that the damn thing snapped and then the trailer hit them?
yes,
Afterwards, like, come
yes,
on, bro. You're gonna kill somebody with
the
that car.
the boat ran back into their vehicle, and then they walked the vehicle down, so it would come to a complete stop. But yo, so Ian, how you feel, sir? How do you feel about it?
I'm not surprised.
I'm
not.
he's like,
Anytime I see
whoopee.
like negative press for Tesla, it just doesn't faze me anymore.
Well, you know what? It's not so much that you're looking for negative press, man. It's just you start asking yourself like, how much testing did they actually do? You know what I mean? Who was the truck guy that came on scene and was like, maybe y'all don't want to do this?
Well, here's the thing, right? These companies tell you that they spend all this time doing extra research to make their products like the most perfect ever. And the truth is they're really spending all that time trying to figure out how to make it as cheap as possible, not how to make it as best as possible.
Yeah.
That's what the truth is, but they're not going to tell the public that. They're like, hey, can we save another $100 off of this? It's like, bro, we already shaved off 80,000. What's $100? Hey, I want to save that. I want to save that 100.
Well,
like 6 months so they can save $100 per car.
But yo, this has got to be like an extreme problem now because all these trucks are on the road that's going to have the same exact flaw. Because remember, they're all casted. They're not. It's not like there's different variants. They're using the same casting for all of them.
I don't see it as a problem. I see it as much needed. We need Tesla's flaws to go ahead and either change the way they operate or put them out of business, one or the other.
Oh. Hey, look, I feel like NHTSA is just being lazy now, man. Like that our government look, everybody talks about how government organizations need to get out of the way. This is one of those problems where you wish they would get in the way.
Man,
because towing that's already a dangerous idea. Like you're pulling something that is not part of the vehicle behind you. Like, you know, you gotta put chains on the device just in case it jumps off the ball joint. That way it doesn't go flying down the road by itself. But now what happens when the whole bumper decides to dismantle from your car and decides that, hey, I was with an owner, now I'm not.
Well, that's the reason why. Have you ever rent like a trailer from U-Haul? Have you ever seen the trailers from U-Haul? How they have their own braking system that if they do disconnect, they automatically brake.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've never seen those.
So it's because they don't trust people not to be idiots. So they're like, just in case you don't put it on your hitch right or something, if this thing yanks off the hitch, it pulls a cord, and that cord literally locks up the wheels on the trailer.
Oh, Rita John says they really love their Cybertrucks in Atlanta. Because I understand it's a new status symbol of saying that you're hip.
It's an extension device.
Yes. Hey, look. The reason why I'm starting to see it here in DC is like, especially sitting in front of clubs. Everybody's pulling up at the club, and they got their Cybertruck wrapped. They got it wrapped up. They got some colorful wrap, or it's the full black wrap on it. It's a new status symbol saying, "Hey, look, I got some money."
Yeah, the guy that owns a brewery near our main office, he's got his all wrapped in green stuff, and like, look, before he bought that Cybertruck, right? You never saw any car parked up on the curb in front of that brewery. He parks that thing in front of the brewery every day now. He's like, look at me, look what I got.
Because, hey, if anything, people are going to stop and look.
Susan
You go,
from
ooh,
high
look,
school's gonna
it's
like
a
me now.
Cybertruck.
Hey, Susan from high school's gonna like me now. You take that, Susan.
I am liked by other people now.
Freaking losers, man. Bunch of freaking losers, man.
Hey, look. I'm not gonna act like I could. Look. I told somebody, I don't even like Tesla like that. But if I could, I would get so much tips driving around that thing. Hey, I would if I could afford one, I would do it just to do Uber in so I can have everybody give me extra money.
Yeah, until you bump into something and the whole frame shatters and kills everybody in the car. Because you know there's more wrecks coming, right?
Oh,
There's more coming,
there are.
and not just this hit situation. What was exposed about that frame is like, oh, because it didn't just break the hits; it actually broke the frame on the regular truck.
Oh,
Remember?
wow! I thought it
It
just
was not,
snapped away.
no. That was the hitch, but later on, the frame literally cracked in that thing in the middle of the truck. Remember,
Really?
that was the whole reason why when the Ford bent, and when he bent it back, he was talking about how the Cybertruck, you can't bend it back. It snapped. He says, go back and watch.
Dang!
He didn't just break the hits, the frame is snapped as well.
Damn!
So I'm just saying, bro.
Which is why it's costing him a arm and a leg. They got to replace the whole rear end. They got to replace the rear casting.
Good luck with that. Is it bolted? Is it like a separate bolted piece or what? Like one of those I forgot what
So
car it is, but there's a car that the whole rear end like literally unbolts from the car. And when I say rear end, I mean the whole. I don't mean the under part. I mean the whole back of the car unbolts and pulls off.
technically speaking, yes, the whole rear end can come off. Like,
Okay.
so the best way I could describe it to you is if you looked at the bottom frame, the bottom of the vehicle, there's three major pieces. It's the front casting, the rear casting, and the battery. They use the battery as a frame.
Yeah.
They use the battery as a frame. So you can unbolt the battery and still have the castings in the front and the rear is still on. And so in theory, you should be able to do the same thing, but understand that thing got so many wires running through it that you have to get all the wires out of the way to drop the rear end.
Well, good luck to him. But good luck to you, Cybertruck penis extenders.
Oh God!
Good luck. Hope y'all enjoy them. I won't be buying one, which I never was anyway. This just tells me
I
even
wasn't
more
gonna
reasons
get
why.
one, but I was just saying that how crazy it was because it was like it wasn't so much as what I saw because I was like, oh, okay, it's aluminum. I could see that happening. It was the response of people on YouTube that shocked me.
You showed that the emperor didn't have no clothes.
And then all the people would come and run into Elon and Tesla's defense, like, oh well, he dropped. Look, this is what makes it so bad. He dropped the vehicle on that concrete berm and it weakened it to the point that it caused it to snap. And I'm saying, like, I don't think that's real. So
that Ford on that thing over and over and over and over.
That's why I said, like, yo, he took the F-150 and dropped it repeatedly. Like, he was like, bam, 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 to the point that the frame actually bent. Okay, he still drove it around after it was bent, and then proceed to take the excavator and bang on the hitch, and he straightened the frame back out again.
You can't. I'm just saying, but look, but that just goes back to like I said earlier. You know, the people can clown all they want about Fords in general, but Fords are literally the number one selling truck in history.
Yes,
and so there is so much research and R&D in that damn vehicle that you would more than you would ever imagine is going into that frame, simply because they have to maintain that. Because it is their bread and butter, is that truck.
Yeah.
The F-150 and the Ford Mustang is the only thing that keeps Ford in business. Every other thing they make is literally being financed like the
But you know what?
WNBA, buy the truck and the Mustang. Okay, so the
Oh,
R&D that goes into those vehicles is out of this world.
but here's the thing. It goes back to what you said, where all these companies are trying to figure out a way to get money out, like how to, save money and not
Mhm.
spend it, right?
But you
But
don't have
at
to.
what
But
point?
when you sell more than everybody, you don't have to make it that much cheaper.
That's
You see
true.
the point? You get to actually, hey, we're raising the price again this year, but guess what? It's going to be better, and you're going to buy
Oh,
it because everybody always does. You got a
but you
fleet,
know what?
you need F-150s. You got, you,
Hey, if
you
anything,
got
you know what? If anything, that just proves right there that you do need a steel frame instead of this modular design that Tesla was trying to float to the industry. Because
yeah,
if you listen to like a lot of the people, they're like, "Oh man, it's such a genius thing. You just cast it and it just comes out as one piece. It's just wonderful." And I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work. And I didn't even at the time when I saw it, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. And
here's the other
now when you
thing.
see
Yeah.
the reason behind it,
You got to realize though, like in the automotive world, the trucks are the only vehicles that are still body on frame, and it's because of towing. It's because of those things. All the other cars are literally like solid shells. They're not building them on frames anymore because they don't tow. But in the truck world,
right,
everything is built on a steel frame because of this. And this is
right.
why the unibody thing will never work in the towing world. At least not with the technology that we have. Unibody and towing will never go together.
But
It's
see,
not going to
the
happen.
question is going to be is how somebody's going to have to do some more testing on being able to get as close as possible as you can get to being able to tow with a casting. Because
Good
I can
luck.
tell you right now, they did
Good
not do
luck.
any testing on towing. Like I don't I think they was like, yo, slap a hitch on it and we'll call it a day. Like you could tell it was an afterthought. It was
Yep.
like it's a truck. It's supposed to tow. Put the tow
It's
hitch
not a,
on.
it's not a real truck, bro. It's not a real truck. It was not. It
Uh
wasn't.
Reader John says, uh, did you hear about the new EV version of the Scat Pack? Yes, I talked about that last week. I talked about it last week, and it was funny because it gave you the fake V8 sound.
Man, they should call
It
that
was
thing the kitten. Cat
hey,
pack.
hey
They call that
Scat
thing a
Pack.
kitten. Then they call it the kitten pack.
Hey,
No
it
real.
depends on what pack you buy.
That
See
ain't
what I'm
no
saying?
real. That ain't no
Yeah,
real cat. That's a
you
kitten.
get you get the lion pack, you get the kitten pack, and then you
How
get the
about
Scat Pack.
the vaginal pack? That's what they should have called it.
Oh
Jesus
no!
Christ, the kitty cat. It should come with Hello Kitty with a Hello Kitty interior.
Hey, look, when you're driving down the road, it goes meow, meow.
I heard when it pulls up next to a Mustang, it goes hi.
Oh, I'm not saying that they probably wouldn't do that either. Those packs might sell in certain communities.
Oh,
Those packs might sell in certain communities. You never know.
but nah, I'm good on that. I'm with Ford. Keep making the V8 Mustangs. That's what sells. That's why. That's why people want these cars. It is what it
Yo,
is.
what is it? I got this article here talking about Ford. Hold on. So this is from NPR.
It's almost a good thing that Ford made the Mach-E now. In hindsight, it's almost a good thing because if they would have tried to actually make a Mustang that was EV, it would have really been bad.
That would have been real bad.
So it's kind of a blessing that they made the Mach-E. They just shouldn't have called it the Mach-E. They should have called it something else.
I think they ran
Should
out
have.
of
They should have
ideas.
brought that. So they just stole the Mach name from the Mustang line. You just can't do that.
Hey
Hey,
man,
they could call it, if they had the
they
lightning, they could have just called it the thunder. Like they could have done something. And just saying. But see, because here's the thing, you're laughing, but I'm not joking.
I
Back
know,
when
I
the lightning,
know.
there's an actual thunder that came out. That was the SVT of the. I want to say it was the Expedition with the SVT set up in
Really?
it. Yeah, and they called it a Thunder. They didn't really make a bunch of them, but they made a few just for the heck of making them. They could have rebranded with that.
You need to be in Ford's R&D department, sir. They need ideas. They need ideas.
That's what their problem is. These people, they're out of touch in these companies, bro. You got people who aren't even car people running car companies. You don't even understand like how much you degraded that name when you decided to put Mark on a non-Mustang, dude. Like
they put the pony. They put the pony on the car, man.
They shouldn't have done. That's so much disrespect, bro. The people who love Mustangs, it's major disrespect. And I say this as a guy that was in a Mustang club called the Stallions. And
Wow.
I'm telling you, they take their ponies serious, okay?
He said, hey, you don't make fun of our ponies, man.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you something. When Ford changed the trunk on the Mustang, and the Mustang community lost their daggone mind, okay?
Oh, Lord.
I just want you to understand how sensitive these people are.
Hey, look. If they're going to be that sensitive, you need to start buying more cars. That's what they want. They need you to buy more vehicles.
But now everybody likes the short trunk. So it's like we got over it. But either way, it's just like, okay, look, man. Don't miss up our beloved Mustang.
Hey, Rita John, I agree with you. Just like No Radio just said, most CEOs aren't car people.
They're not even car people. That's why they make these dumb decisions, man.
Now, here's the thing. Do you think that this decision by Ford is going to be justified? So it says here, Ford scraps all electric SUV plans, saying that drivers want hybrids.
Well, because remember, so here's the deal, right? SUVs are already not selling. Now you want to add another insult to the issue?
Oh.
The only SUV that is selling is the Explorer, and the police are buying the majority of those.
That's true. Okay, but here's the thing. I feel like we're too far into the whole electrification to all of a sudden that Ford wants to be a hybrid vehicle maker now. Like Toyota, Toyota lived in it.
Yeah, but guess what though? It's the safe bet because you don't lose the security of gasoline. It's a safer bet to go. It just is. It's a safer bet, bro. Remember I told you, bro, that like I will probably not ever buy an EV. I'm the guy that might buy the hybrid, but I'm not buying the EV.
Well, the reason why I say that we're
they better make an EV. That's why they better make a hybrid if they want to sell me another car. You see what I'm saying?
True. But look, the reason why I said that it feels like Ford is too late to the party. It's kind of like you keep making ICE vehicles to kind of wean the transition, or do you go all electric?
No. Ford is actually smart. Toyota is actually, you gotta realize Toyota lost for a long time to be the hybrid leader. Ford now gets to benefit from all Toyota's work, sir, including actually getting batteries from Toyota, which is why they're building a gigantic, almost mile-long battery factory 10 minutes from my house. Okay.
Hey, I feel you.
Think about it. Toyota does all that development, learns all the ins and outs, and then you show up and get to benefit without having to do all the R&D and spend the money yourself. Come on, man. It's actually smart.
They probably end up getting the technology from. Wait a second. They own Mazda, don't they?
No, not anymore. They've been lost their share in Mazda. They used to own 60% of Mazda.
Because the new Mazdas are going hybrid train also.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Ford. They're no longer together.
Well, that's right. That's why I was saying.
And they separated. I want to say like 12 or 13 years ago. It's been a while.
Oh, because Mazda is doing like the rotary engine paired with a hybrid powertrain.
Yeah, but remember, Ford never had anything to do with any of the rotary stuff in the Mazda vehicles whatsoever. Ford was anti-rotary. So you got to realize something. Ford did the same thing with Mazda, right? Instead of them like doing a whole bunch of work developing, overhead cam engines, they literally just acquired Mazda, and then for the next 20 years put Mazda designs in all the cars for the engines because it was the Mazda had already mastered overhead cam engines. Why do we need to do a whole redesign or figure out how to build a new V6 with the overhead cam and the four-cylinder overhead cam? And all we could just slap a Duratec on the valve cover, but it's just a Mazda engine. Like really, what it was though. All the Duratec engines are all Mazda designs. So, and then EcoBoost is an evolution of those designs. And even then, they went back single cam on a lot of that stuff. But what I'm getting at is it's actually good for Ford to do hybrid because guess what? It is the cheapest thing they can do that also propels them, meaning they can get more fuel economy without having to spend a bunch of R&D going straight EV. And once again, people who are anti-EV are going to leave your company if you just start throwing EVs at them.
Hey,
You
look,
don't miss your bread and butter.
Rita John, the reason why in Rome they're all Prius is because they believe in small cars. That's why.
Yeah.
Europe does not believe in big vehicles. Big vehicles are an American thing.
Europe doesn't care about SUVs so much that BMW literally just makes the SUVs in the US because nobody in Europe wants them. Okay,
right.
I want y'all to think about that.
Right.
If you have a BMW SUV, it's probably made in Georgia.
I agree. But
nobody in Europe wants them.
Because the reason why I say I feel like Ford might be coming to the game a little late is when you're kind of stuck in between two islands, right? And I think hybrids are the middle ground. But
hybrids are the gold medalists on the podium, and the EV is like bronze.
Wow.
and gas is the silver. You know, that's the truth. Hybrid is the gold. Hybrid is the peak of all these technologies. EV is not better than hybrid. It just ain't.
Well, look, the reason why I'm saying this is because the electrification of the future is coming, and once they start rolling out like the new charging standards, once they start getting like it gets to the kind of to the place of you're gonna have hybrids on the road. They're gonna have to do like a plug-in hybrid because people are gonna want one of those.
Once again, the technology has already been developed, sir. Ford doesn't have to do anything new for that. Once again,
that's true.
So here's the point you're missing, right? You have to realize Ford can't make cars today to fit people 20 years from now. That doesn't help their sales today, right?
No, right.
But a hybrid, you know what that hybrid option does? It actually gives Toyota competition where Ford doesn't have one for them right now. You see the problem?
Yeah.
So the fact that Ford simply doesn't have or push the hybrids, right, is literally an entire segment of market that they're not making money on right now that with minimal effort they could do. It is not minimal effort for them to go make a bunch more EVs for a market that is not ready.
But here's like what Rita John just said here says that no radio's right. In China, the hybrids are more expensive than the electric. So what's going to happen when your electric vehicle that can get like, let's say 350, 400 miles of charge and it's just all electric versus the hybrids being more expensive? Now, they're going to want to put an extra premium on that reliability of being able to stop at a gas station.
I understand that, but in the current climate, the hybrids don't cost more than the EVs in the U.S.
Yes, in the current climate now, for right now, but the prices of EVs are going down.
And China is not really a market that you can compare to the rest of the world. Mainly because of how things work in China.
That's true. But
China is
here's the thing. In 1 year, the Model Y dropped in value almost 15 grand.
And you know why? Because when that battery takes a dump, the party's over. That hybrid has a better chance of being repaired and continue to be driven. Way better chance. And the way I know that this is true is I've told you before. One of my friends literally works for a company that all they do is make replacement hybrid battery packs. They've been in business forever now, and their business is only getting faster.
Right.
They literally slinging Prius batteries out the door. So people are fixing their Priuses, bro. They ain't fixing these EVs. They're parking them and never going back. Look at all them EVs that are piling up in China.
Yeah.
The battery went bad. It's just a people are not fixing them
But
because it
you know
ain't
what?
worth it.
But the BYD, man, their vehicles are cheap as shit, though.
But that's my point, though, right? The only way that the EV can compete is to be either cheap as crap, or they're gonna have to get way better charging infrastructure as well as like ability to charge quickly. And we already know this is not coming fast. It's not.
I do agree. It's not coming fast enough because
You got a minimum of another 20 years before the EV experience is even comparable to a gas vehicle experience. As
20
far as
years.
yeah, you mark my word. You have 20 years before it is even identical. Meaning there's going to be 20 years before you plug in your EV and charge, and you can charge in freaking 5 minutes. And
Well,
it's good luck. And I can show you that I can put 34 gallons of diesel in my work truck in 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
right.
Where's the EV that does that? You think that EV exists in 5 years? You think the EV? That's what I'm saying about it. And remind you, this is a 17,000 pound vehicle that can be refueled in 30 seconds.
But okay, let me ask you this question.
Imagine refueling a 17,000 pound EV. How big that battery would have to be in that thing, and you got to refuel in 30 seconds. That's just for you to
But
break.
no, we were just talking. But here's the thing: we were just talking earlier about self-driving cars and how you don't have like no. But what I'm saying is
it don't have to be
do you think that charging has to be 30 seconds for people to end up uptaking it? I think 20 minutes. If you're reliable in 20 minutes all the time.
Okay, so remember, so the people who can charge at home and they don't do a lot of driving, they're probably perfectly fine, right? But for everybody else, it is a problem. And it's because, like I told you earlier, that 5 minutes, and you know, like I know, that it's not, even now, it's not the same amount of time every time you charge. Sometimes it charges faster than others. Right? Obviously, if there's a broken gas pump, there can be some delays, right? But all I want you to do is go to a gas station, and just go to during lunch hour, go to doing after work. And I want you to tell me how many cars you see coming in and out of that parking lot. And you tell me that every EV charging at 5 minutes can move that many cars.
They wouldn't be able to.
Close. You got 4 chargers, and you're going to have 75 people in an hour window trying to charge. Good luck. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not as simple as, oh, it's just 20 minutes. Yeah, it's 20 minutes because there ain't 50 other people trying to charge at the same time as you because not that many people own the cars. Once everybody has one, Keon, there's a whole new list of problems now. It's a whole new list of people also trying to get to the same charger as you. And if you've already waited on an EV charger before, just imagine when everybody has one, how much you're going to be waiting. So at that point, it ain't even just charging speed anymore. It's going to roll into waiting in line to get to the charger.
Oh, yeah.
And that one guy, like you said, doesn't precondition. He's going to make the whole line get held the hell up now. That's true. Why I say that's the reason I say 20 years, because it's not as simple as, oh, there's a battery tech that can charge 300 miles in 5 minutes. Yeah, but what about the car that's hot right now because it's a 100-degree day? It can't charge at full speed. Hell, even your cell phones do that. If the phone gets warm enough, it slows down the charger.
It starts slow. Yeah, it'll start slowing down.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of factors that you have to put together and add to that 20-minute time window. That it's all of a sudden, next thing you know, one person, or what about the malfunctioning EV that's in front of you at the charger?
Oh.
Like, dude, I'm just saying, there's a lot of factors that you have to put in, and these are the bigger pictures of the problems, not just the micro level that you're just.
But here's the thing, you could also, but here's the thing, you could have more charging stations in a smaller spot than you can gas stations.
That's going to require such a significant increase in the amount of infrastructure that needs to be built and maintained. And who's going to pay for that? It's going to end up being the EV users. Your charging rates are going to go way up.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hey, look, the way that they're doing it now, man, they want you to be part of whatever membership that you're gonna end up signing for. There's a membership for Electrify America. There's a membership for EV Go. There's even a membership for Tesla to get the lowest rates possible.
Right, but those are all subsidies and programs to bring down the cost. What happens when all of those expire?
Ding, ding, ding.
Mm.
I'm gonna start calling him Ian Mayweather.
Right, but that's
Keon,
not,
he got
that's not to
you on the
say that
road.
there aren't the same thing for the petrol side of things. There are states that have, various, gas taxes that they can kind of, dynamically adjust to keep the prices steady. But with EVs, the amount of startup infrastructure that they're going to have to build for all of this, and then talk about if you hate road construction now, you're really going to start hating it once everybody starts driving EVs because they're going to put a whole lot of more weight on the road.
Mm-hmm. This is
Yeah,
true.
It's a
that's not
cascading
the same.
problem.
It's not the same as the same amount of weight as big trucks, though.
Yes, but remember, we're talking
But
about volume over
yeah,
time,
thousands
Keon.
and thousands, millions of them versus a couple 100,000 semis.
If you were to put a scale on a road, right, and you literally over time monitored the total pounds per day that cross that spot, it would significantly skyrocket with EVs.
Huh.
He's not wrong. He's not. I think he's not
I was
wrong.
watching. I was watching. Was it TF? I was watching. What was it it's the one of these truck shows that's on YouTube, and like the Cybertruck is like 6,800 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and like the rap, not the rap, was it the Raptor or it was a diesel, uh it was a diesel Dodge, and the Dodge truck came in heavier than the Cybertruck did.
Yeah, because they had a steel frame.
Yeah, because that truck was actually built for towing.
But But hey, I'm just saying, man. Look, I think that I don't necessarily think that it has to be perfection, like 30 seconds in and out, right? I think that there's going to be a certain number that people are going to be perfectly happy with. If you say 20 minutes and it's 20 minutes rain, sleet, snow, hail, whatever,
Yeah, but
and
it
it's
ain't.
20 minutes.
That's why I say 20 years.
It's not about it being perfect though, Keon. It's about like what No Radio and I are really talking about is the feasibility of that segment of the automotive industry scaling properly. It's very cost inhibitive. It's heavily being subsidized with tax incentives and other, Wall
True.
Street, really. Like, what happens when all of that goes away? Is it going to be profitable? Is it going to be sustainable? And my gut feeling is that it's not going to be.
Well, I mean, it's the chicken and the egg problem right now. Is you don't have enough people buying electric cars because people are worried about charging. I've heard it from people that talk to me about getting one. They're worried that they don't have any way of charging the car when they're on the go. So it's the chicken and the egg. My thing is this is when there's enough public chargers out there that people feel confident enough that they can go from going from North Carolina to Florida and don't have to really think about it. I don't necessarily think that people really care that it takes them 20 minutes to charge. I think that it's just that fear that they're going to be left on the side of the road.
But what I'm saying is we're already not at 20 minutes. We're already in an environment where it's not 20 minutes. And we don't even have a line at the pump yet of the charging.
Because I mean, like look at a store, look at a roadside store like Buc-ee's. I mean, dog, they didn't build Buc-ee's the way they built it for quick in and out. It is, do you go in, you don't come out.
Yeah, but most gas stations are. Is the point? Buc-ee's is an anomaly, not the rule.
Whenever I go to like,
and I want you to realize something, Keon. The percentage before you move. If you want to know a really well number, I can go ahead and tell you that 95% of people never even go into the gas station at all. At most gas stations in America, they literally pay at the pump, get back in their freaking car, and leave.
I've done that myself. I've done that.
Now it's like, well, I'm hanging out 20 minutes. I guess I go in and
hey,
like, but I'm saying
that means you're gonna have a better experience. You gotta go.
No. You're just gonna get suckered into spending more money that you probably wouldn't have because you now have time with wasted time on your hands. You see?
Well,
it's like the Walmart thing, right? It's a known thing that Walmart back in the day, like when they would put out like a sale, like, hey, we're having a sale. This is all on sale, right? They would massively underprice the sale item. Meanwhile, everything else in the store is overpriced. So they use the sale item to get you in the building, then hold you hostage to spend money on stuff that's overpriced. But you're so happy about the sale discount you got, you stop recognizing that you're overpaying for all the other crap in your car.
No, I know that. Hey, look, the rollback prices was a scam.
So it doesn't benefit the drivers of the vehicle that they have 20 minutes to go into the store. It only benefits the store.
Yeah, true.
So don't tell me that, oh, I get the benefit of going in the store now, so I can pay $3 for a 50-cent bottle of water. When I could have went to the Dollar General and got a 24-pack of water for $3.
Hey man, they need to go ahead and start. You start to see a trend now. They starting to put refrigerators inside of cars now, man. You can drive around with your own bottles of water. You don't have to worry about going inside to go get one.
Hey, same for me, Ken. When I'm on a road trip like that, I always got a cooler in the back loaded. I don't need no store.
That's true.
When I on my way to Florida this last time, cooler was loaded, son. I had everything you could think of in that cooler, homie. Everything from sandwiches to sodas and even beer.
Hey man, hey, you got to empty all that ice out. Get your refrigerator one.
Nah, I'm good. I gotta have room for my subs. I don't need no more extra stuff in the back to make me fat.
Yo, hey, I got this another story right here, man. You're gonna love this one. So, this is gonna bring back some nostalgia for you.
Uh-oh.
Instagram is going retro, dog.
A good thing it was how would that bring me nostalgia? I've never been an Instagram user, not my generation.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. You know, you might end up going back to it because of it.
How do I go back to my never was at?
Well, you might end up going to it.
Here we go.
Instagram copies MySpace.
Okay, so I'm gonna put my own music up there whenever people click on my page.
There you go.
And then I'm gonna put my top friends in the list so people get to fight over who's on top of my list.
There you go.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, it says that you can now add songs to your profile like 2008.
Jesus Christ.
So now here's the thing. I think that
you got me. I'm going back.
But wait. There's a caveat here. There's a caveat here, though.
Oh, here we go.
So anybody, if you were around when MySpace was a thing, you knew as soon as you loaded in, how long it took for somebody's page to load, which was like forever.
That's because our internet was slower back then. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Internet was much slower then, sir. I was using MySpace on a 1 megabit DSL connection. Okay.
Man,
what more do you want from me?
That was slow. But here's the thing: it doesn't play right away when you go to somebody's profile. So if you remember, when you went on MySpace and you loaded in, the music will start playing right away.
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't do that. It does a feature where the music is at the top of the page for you to touch the link on.
Oh no, I'm good. I don't want it then.
Oh, well.
Put it in the trash. It ain't real MySpace. Put them in. Matter of fact, let's call up Tom and figure out how. What you know about that, EM? What you know about that?
MySpace is before my time, bro.
I know it was. That's why I said what you know about that. Tom was the original OG.
Tom. Everybody was friends with Tom because when you did a profile, Tom was your first friend before you started. It was that weird thing where he's sitting there like smiling with his thumb up. That was his profile pic.
Look, the way you knew somebody, the way you knew a girl was single on MySpace is like if you say it was a girl that was cute, right? And you've been feeling her, so every now and then, you lurk on her page, right? And she be having she had like the happiest song ever on her page. You be like, yep, she still got a man. Man, you click on that page and Neo come on. I can't get it back, but I don't want it back. You be like,
oh my God.
She free.
There was audio cues to let you know that he might be available.
Yes, sir. You could tell whether you can holler by the music, bro. You just knew.
You know, when she got that, you know, pay my bills, you got to pay the telephone bill. Yeah, she's going through grievance right now. You might want to wait for a little bit. Just wait. Just give a little bit of time.
People were passing subliminals by using the music they put up. So you just figure out, she's mad. Oh, yeah, she's mad at her boyfriend right now.
She is mad. Look, yeah, it was the same.
This tells me that Meta they've just accepted the fact that they are the millennial social network, and they're just going to embrace it at this point.
Hey, that's what this tells me. You might as well go ahead and copy the old OG.
Well, there's more of us than there is of the next generation. So why are you going to cater to the low population generation?
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is that younger people aren't using Meta's social media platforms nearly as much as.
Oh yeah, you're correct, but they also don't exist at the level that the other generations do, and as people in the first place. So even if they were, they would be a small minority of the user base. Even if they were. That's the part people don't realize. People had less babies like post 97, 98, not more. The larger generation is the old people, like the Gen Xers. Yeah. And they're larger than us.
They come from families of like 13, 14, 15.
My mother has 6 siblings.
Jesus Christ.
So all I'm saying, larger generation. So you target the largest population. So if they targeting millennials would be excellent. Because we're just young enough to understand technology, but just old enough that we actually exist in the first place because we didn't get aborted.
Oh my God.
Dagger.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Dagger.
People weren't using birth control in the 80s. Come on.
Hey, man.
Of any form. Of any form.
But I'm just saying, hey, look, you telling me that you wouldn't want somebody to know what music you listening to on your Instagram?
So here's the thing, Ian. Back in the day, I had 2 pages on MySpace. I had a MySpace page that was my personal page, and I had a MySpace artist page because they allowed you to do that. So I could put my music up on there. That was the first place that let me do that. This is before streaming was even a thing.
Ooh.
So you literally, the only place you could stream music really was freaking MySpace. But people don't realize that. So MySpace low-key started music streaming, but never capitalized on it.
Man.
Because you got to realize, that's a good point. You was either downloading the music or you could browse artist pages on MySpace and play music off the artist page. And they didn't gatekeep. They let anybody do it. So Jim Bob, the SoundCloud rapper, he would have, today's SoundCloud rapper would have been on MySpace in 2006, 2005, 2004. It's the truth. They just didn't realize it. They weren't smart enough to take it on fully.
Reader John says Tom was his only friend.
Yeah, Tom was his only friend. I feel you, Tom. I feel you, bro. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Hey, man. Tom was everybody's friend.
Tom was a MySpace hoe. Okay. Hey, you know Tom had hoes, right? You know he had to have hoes.
He had to. He was friends with everybody.
He didn't even have to send a friend request. He was automatic on the hottest chicks.
Like, as soon as you started your profile, it was bam, you my friend. Bam.
Imagine you're on MySpace and Tom like legit actually sends you a message. Like, what's up, girl?
Hey, what's up? What's going on with you?
They'd be like, oh, Tom got Riz in this generation.
Oh.
I still don't understand all that shit, dude.
Yo,
the new slang has surpassed my intellectual capabilities.
Me and you both. I mean, I get more of it than I should probably at my age.
That's because TikTok keeps you up to date, man.
No, wrong.
What?
No. I have children. It's because I have children. And my children come home and say all these new slang terms constantly.
Hey, look, I don't have any kids, and I know some of the slang.
I mean, like, that's busted. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's
Hey,
busted,
look,
man.
the only one that sounds good to me is when somebody's like, in a conversation, somebody said, "Hey, man, let them cook," and I'm like, "Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. That's a good one."
Sadly, half of the memes that I even understand are because of my kids.
Oh,
My kids over there on TikTok, and like, I don't know, maybe like 2 years ago, every 5 minutes, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. And it's like, I'm like, oh, again. If you play that damn video one more time, I'm swinging a tablet into a tree. I swear to God.
I forget that song that was being played. Was it Ariana Grande or something? I don't know. It was some song that was being played on TikTok repeatedly. Also,
But these kids will watch the same video 700 times. I'm like, yo, if you don't swipe, I'll murder you.
yeah, swipe up, please. Oh my God.
And then the next video will be like, oh no, I'm like, get away from it.
Hey, my wife has fallen asleep looking at TikTok, man. The thing would be on repeat, and I'd be like, "Oh God, please help me."
Back in my day, we had to actually search for stuff to laugh at. It's just automatic now. They just mouth feeding you
Oh,
videos. Back in my day, it was like, yo, have you seen that super hot fire? Like, well, what's that? Oh, it's this like battle rapper that can't actually rap.
oh Lord.
That's the thing, though. I feel like the shit that was funny on the internet, like even back when I was a kid, it was like, oh, one random ass YouTube video posted by some random person.
Exactly.
Someone happened to find it, and then it just like it had more value to it. Now it's just like,
You know why? Because the problem is it's always trying to figure out a way to create a viral moment. Everybody's trying to figure out a way to create a viral moment instead of just letting life happen.
Yeah.
You get more traction being viral.
Yep.
So everybody's trying, like, oh well, let me fall down the steps 85 times to see if I can make it look like it's real. Now here you are with 15 concussions, but guess what? On the 58th time, you finally go viral. Forget about the fact that your brain done been rattled 15 times.
It's created a really weird like social like thing. Like I'm sure you guys have seen them, like that we're Costco guys, like people. Have you seen those guys?
Have not.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll be looking tonight.
Anyway, it's like this dad and his son, but this guy has been trying to hit some viral trend. Like he's been trying super hard to go viral on social media for years, and then one thing he finally did took off, and it's like, you spent all your time just trying to go viral on the internet. That's gotta be fucking depressing. Like,
it is depressing. Hey, look. I'm out here trying to be a YouTube star, and every time you see your view count is like 3, and you're like, oh, your soul goes into the ground.
That ego starts hurting.
Yeah, my alter ego is trying to pep me up. Like my regular ego is like, bruh, this is depressing. The hell?
Your mother shouldn't have had you. That's what you be thinking, Jason.
Oh,
here's your cheat code. Just make an apology video.
Oh,
make
God,
some shit that you didn't do wrong, and make it just like, I need to apologize, with just like a super serious like thumbnail. Boom, views. You got it.
I have seen YouTubers do that. Like even Linus is guilty of that. Talk about like he was stepping there. I am stepping away, and it goes like 13 million views. You like, he ain't really stepping away. I watched this whole thing to find out you just gonna let somebody else run the company so you can be a nerd.
Bro, like, these people are so desperate. Have you seen there's a YouTube channel that I guess they were supposedly supposed to be beating up like pedophiles, but then they got exposed that like they ran out of pedophiles, so they like started hiring people to pretend to be pedophiles. They got beat up.
Hey, why do you think that To Catch a Predator is not running today? They realize like it's kind of hard to keep catching people in the same trap.
It's like, yo, Chris Hansen. I call you Chris Hansen.
But yo, it's like, oh no, I done moved on. I just drive around the neighborhood with Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi.
But yeah, it's a different world, man. Some of the stuff is good. Most of it's trash.
Oh.
99% of the people that you see on the internet are completely fake human beings. Even like all the woke stuff, right? A lot of them people are only doing it because it gets views, not because they actually believe anything they're saying. Like it's sad, really, bro.
Well, that's been very evident by like I don't know how up to date you are with like online influencer people, but all the people who are getting paid just hundreds of thousands of dollars to push political narratives right now online.
Yeah.
And like you know they're not genuine because they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to post this shit. It's like
Well, I'm just saying it's about flooding the zone. I mean, regardless of what side of the fence you want to be on. I mean, you know that people are getting their political views from online. They're not getting it from news organizations no more. So you might as well just flood the zone. Instead of spending the money with the network, you might as well just spend the money directly with an influencer. You utilize their reach as much as possible.
And it also shows you too, like when you talk to people out here on the street, it makes you realize how many people don't actually like they don't even attempt to look at anything outside of their one source to the point that like I literally told a guy today something that made him look at me like he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Look right here." Oh, I don't watch those guys. They're crazy leftists. And then I'm like playing it, and he's like, "No. It's like you can see his heart breaking inside because he realized like he'd been lied to so badly about a particular person that he was just like, oh my God, why do I know about them? Like, because you're in an echo chamber. Leave sometimes. Get outside the building every now and then.
Oh, look, people feel safe in their echo chamber, man. You can't rip them away. You rip them away, they don't know how to cope.
I watch people I disagree with and people I agree with. I don't just watch what I like. Oh, I agree with this. I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, no. You gotta step out and see what's out there, what's going on.
That is the major problem with the internet right now, is that people get caught in these like thought circles and they're too scared to leave or hear a contradictory opinion.
But you know what? Here's the thing. It's kind of like the internet became the de facto diffuser of knowledge, right? So you can gain knowledge from almost anywhere now. Like, it doesn't matter what you like. Like, I'm a big nerd about space. I look at certain people about that subject. But if I watch long enough, I'm gonna get somebody who don't know nothing about that subject talking about flat Earth.
Oh God.
Hey, watch long enough. You're gonna get somebody who's like, the Earth is flat. Why when I'm on a plane, it's perfectly level? It happens every time. And I go, numbnuts. What can I learn from you today? Nothing. You have a ruler in your backpack that has a scale. They go, look how flat it is. There's no way in the world the Earth is round. Look how flat this is. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's the only problem with the internet, though, is it allows stupid people to be stupid.
With fans.
It's the same exact reason what happened with the Cybertruck. No radio. When I told No Radio what happened to the Cybertruck, the first thing he says, "Oh, the metals. The metals are different." It took him 15 seconds to figure that out.
I didn't even watch the video, but I knew I already.
Didn't watch the video at all. And other thing, you saw people responding to this man's video about the Cybertruck as, I have to give you a lesson on metallurgy. And this is what happened. And this is what happened when he dropped it on the concrete. And it caused it to weaken. And you see, look what happened when you drop it here. And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm here like, yeah, no.
Then your belief should be recreatable with the F-150.
Well, he recreated it. Hey, he recreated it, boy. Did he not? He dropped that F-150 multiple times.
Multiple. No, he pounded it 100 times onto the hitch. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then he bent the frame and then bent it back, and it still drove.
But that's what I'm saying is instead of the Elon Musketeers stepping outside from underneath Elon's skirt, they all was like, oh, yeah, he staged that. He weakened those things on purpose. Like, why would he do that? There's no reason.
Elon, our leader, would never.
One of the YouTubers that responded, like somebody on YouTube responded, he was like, if he had did the same thing to the F-150, it would have shattered. No.
It's like Elon's using special metal from space. No.
His metal is vibranium. I know. It came from Wakanda.
Which I know there is a reason why people like these old, like I told you, there's a reason these old school guys that build like log splitters, they specifically use forged steel. They go to junkyards and get the steel off Ford trucks to forge into wood splitters for a reason.
They're like, we don't want that nasty steel. What is that? Well, no, we can't do nothing with that thing. Fudge that.
It's because that steel is made right.
Man. Yo, I got one more story to ask y'all, and this is more of a overall arching question because what's coming down the pipeline, and I think that Apple is going to do something that we all expected them to do of late. So here we go.
Ooh.
So Apple employees have reportedly admitted that customers do not care which company makes the iPhone 5G modems, and the experience will not change. Do you think that Apple is looking to just have different tiers of iPhone and the customer does not care? I know that we're nerds because we sit up here and go, well, this modem is faster than that modem. We put an iPhone next to a Pixel phone next to a Samsung phone and be like, oh, the Pixel phone is 0.3 of a second faster. But do you think that the customers give a rat's tail?
Of course not.
The Pixel is the prime example of how the hardware experience does not matter. It's the software experience that makes the difference for the customer. The Pixel phones are a prime example.
So with Google going with their Tensor or their Tensor chip, proved that hey, we can keep putting phones out, but we don't have to go with the whole Snapdragon, moniker.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and it's about how you optimize the hardware, like that you're using, right? Like, I feel like Google has done a really good job of building an ecosystem that is designed around the specifications of their Tensor chip. Even though the Tensor chip, on paper doesn't perform as well as your other flagship options, you can't tell a difference. I will say, I haven't had a Pixel in a few years, but my Pixel 7 Pro was miles ahead of my S22 and my iPhone in terms of usability. I just couldn't handle the connectivity piece of it, which was kind of a personal thing. So,
but see, I'm talking about like from a user standpoint. If you like, I know that with us being nerds, we have this thing where we judge everything based off of metrics that we have stuck in our head. But I'm saying, like, if you was just like, hey, look, if you gave your phone, you gave the new iPhone to somebody and they had like a MediaTek modem in it, we all know that it's in there, but that iPhone customer never really cared as long as the Instagram open, as long as, whatever fired up and it ran. Do you think that the user experience is going to be affected?
Yeah, my mom had an iPhone 11 for a very long time. I just replaced it like this past Christmas with a 15 Plus, and she did not notice anything.
God,
you're not going to. The only time you're going to notice it is when you are doing some nerdy stuff. So, like, for example, I was running a local speed test server on the Pixel 7 Pro as well as the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The Pixel, so basically, trying to make sure everybody understands what it is. I'm pretty sure you guys do. Basically, I was using my phone as if it were a speed test server over the wireless network in the house.
Yeah.
So I would basically type in the IP for it and pull data from it, right? The Pixel 7 Pro run laps around the iPhone's ability to transfer data wirelessly through that router to the computer.
Wow.
Circles around it. Is the regular person ever going to see that? No. It doesn't matter. It's just that people.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, Aries, say you're a nerd without saying you're a nerd.
I wonder, look, as you know, I recently added an ISP to my house, a secondary one, and I wanted to test, know how that router performed. That's the best way to do stuff.
So, were you just using iPerf?
I was using I'll tell you what it's called. It's not iPerf. It's actually Speed Test Server. Is the name of it actually.
Oh wow!
Like Open Speed Test?
Yes, Open Speed Test.
Okay, yeah, I have an Open Speed Test server on my home lab.
Yeah, and it literally, the iPhone was nowhere near as fast as the Pixel was at uplink or downlink.
Oh wow!
Wasn't even close.
Hey, are you able to remote speed test from like out in the field with it?
No. But there is ways to do that as well, but not in that particular app.
No, what I can do with mine, Ken, is I have if I just open ports on my router and then I can hit my speed test server remotely.
Yeah.
So you can kind of use it as your own Ookla speed test server if you want to, but then your performance on that speed test is going to be very dependent on the bandwidth of your home internet connection.
Yeah, my network at home is dependent at that point. But I'm just saying, like, yo, the way I see it is, I think that this might be Apple's way of gearing up to lower, like, how they have like 3 or 4 different phones every year. So the original iPhone, the OG iPhone, whatever the one that the lowest models will end up being, will have like their in-house modem, right? And they toyed with this before, where they had different modems on different models. And for the most part, nobody really knew unless it was like despairingly completely different, right?
There was a noticeable difference between the Intel and the Qualcomm iPhones back in the day.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, for us, the nerd, we'll probably be able to point it out like, oh, well, when it's on, this cell band, it works differently than this cell band or whatever.
Well, from what I was told, it wasn't just throughput issues on those Intel.
It was connectivity.
They were literally losing service when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, dude. Do you know how many people came in when I was working at Best Buy that had like the AT&T and the T-Mobile Intel modem iPhones? The iPhone 8s and the 7s, they were horrible.
Yep.
The Sprint customers were having a better experience with those phones on Sprint's shitty network. Pardon my French, but like as long as Apple maintains a high level baseline quality, like it'll be fine. No one's going to notice a difference. I mean, the base tier iPhones already have a last gen processor in them. Nobody really cared when they started doing that.
That's true. So. Which is why I'm saying, like, yo, it just seems like Apple's gearing up to just have like, yo, you know what, the high end is going to be the high end, the low end is going to be the low end, and people are going to be buying whatever they're going to buy. Which is why they have last year's chip in this year's iPhone.
Yeah, the only thing I hope that Apple just maintains is that the capabilities across the board stay the same. So like not removing millimeter wave from the cheaper iPhones or, whatever it is, because that's one thing I like to give Apple a lot of credit for, is that they've given all of their customers, minus the iPhone SE, access to all of those radio frequencies. Whereas typically with your mid-level mid-rangers, they don't include that hardware for their customers.
I mean, they end up doing that with the iPad. They got rid of millimeter wave for the iPad.
Yeah, but that was across the board, though. I'm saying, like, if they keep millimeter wave in the pros and then get rid of it on the base 15 or 16 or 17, whatever it is, I would not be a fan of that. I think the big selling point, or at least for me, I was always a big fan of the fact that you could get the same connectivity experience on the base iPhones and the Pro models.
True.
Especially in a world where you've got companies like Google who skip out on millimeter wave on their, the Pixel 9, to my knowledge, does not have millimeter wave. It's only the Pro. And Samsung for a long time, the base S series phone didn't have millimeter wave either. So it was like Apple
only one. There was only one.
Was it the S20?
Yeah, it's the only one that it didn't have it all. The 21 had it. All of them had it already.
But all of them are using Qualcomm. There's no different variants of Qualcomm chips is on Samsung that I know of. Even the Folds still use the same Qualcomm chip. If it's not like a little bit different, like branding on them, but they're pretty much just about almost identical.
I think the Folds get the plus version of the chipset because it comes out later in the year.
It comes in later.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they announce it, then bam, guess what? There's a new Snapdragon coming out. I'm like, wow, why don't you just put the new Snapdragon in the new Fold? How about that? Going to announce it a month after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, my point in saying that is that we're just now starting to see the millimeter wave chipsets really come down in price. Now that it's a converged chipset, it's not a separate piece of hardware now. So
yeah,
this is like the worst time to consider removing it from phones. And I know that there were rumors flying around, a few months ago that Apple was considering removing it from the base model iPhones. But now's the best time to keep it because it's getting cheaper. So,
I mean, it's like integrating all these, integrating the modem into the SoC. It is the end goal, really. It reduces, like right here, it says reduce costs. I mean, that's kind of what Qualcomm has done with the Snapdragon, is be able to integrate the 5G modem into the chip itself, which, gives you a benefit on power. The way it's currently set up on the iPhones, the modem sits outside of the chipset. I think the modem and the Bluetooth sits on outside the chipset. So I'm just saying, like, from a customer standpoint, like, non-nerd, because I talk to a lot of people and they just love their iPhones and the experience they have. If they end up getting an iPhone that is not a Qualcomm, are people going to really care?
No,
and I'm on the camp that I don't think they really care. I just think that as long as green bubbles get all the shame, that's all they care about.
Well, you could use Wi-Fi as a good example. I mean, it took Apple until this year to add Wi-Fi 6E to the iPhones, and they barely talked about it in the announcement of the phones last year.
I think that the reason why they didn't talk about it is because it showed that they were behind.
Right. But I'm saying I genuinely think they a big factor as to why they didn't talk about it very much is because their customers don't care. Like,
that's true.
And some of the Apple products, like my HomePod, is still using Wi-Fi 4. Like, it's Apple's been really far behind on Wi-Fi for a long time. So as long as it delivers a good enough experience that's comparable to the other, OEMs out there, I think it's fine.
Okay. Look, I'm on the notion that, I talk to a lot of customers about this when I tell them I talk about tech, that I just feel like Apple just holds us back. And it makes me upset that a whole company, granted a $1 trillion company, just takes baby steps. That's just something that bothers me. It's like, if you got the better technology, put it out there. Get it out there. Don't be, crappy foot around.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is that I tend to think that companies like Samsung tend to rush to new things. But they're like the T-Mobile of phone manufacturers. They like to rush to things just to say that they have it.
But that also means that they have a tendency to experiment more. like think about it. Think about it. As much as we might not care about folding phones, I feel like iPhone people are just waiting for another type of
Oh, yeah.
phone. They're just waiting. They're like, yo, if and whenever the iPhone does go foldable, it's going to sell like gangbusters. You're not gonna be able to find one.
That's true. I always hear I got a lot of family members who ask about my Z Fold 5. They're like, well, when's Apple going to make one? I'm like, I don't know. I love my Fold 5, by the way. It's still one of my favorite phones.
I love my folding phones. No radio is mixed bag on that one. He doesn't see himself going back. He all iPhone now.
I don't know. I'm definitely going to get the S25 when it comes out this year, though. That's on my list.
Okay.
Because I'm still using an S22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you're not really. But here's the thing. Yeah, network wise, you're not really missing much.
No, but it's more just like keeping with the updated hardware, and the phone's going to be 3 years old at around launch time, so the battery's
Yeah.
kind of getting crappy on it, and camera's still phenomenal though. I Samsung hit it out of the park with these last few generations of the S series phones.
Well, do you know what the megapixel on the camera is? I thought it was like what? It was like I think they did a version where it was like 200 megapixel on one.
The one on mine is 108, and then I think they went up to 200 on 23.
This charger was downstairs.
But yeah, even then, like I still think it outperforms my iPhone, my new iPhone 15 Pro Max in a lot of situations, and that phone's almost 3 years old. And I can only imagine the newer S series phones are even better. So,
but iPhone, like Apple, is very conservative with the performance on their iPhone. It's not going to be like super duper crazy in comparison. Like when I put my iPhone at the time on T-Mobile next to my T-Mobile line, my T-Mobile Android phone will just be like going as fast as it possibly can. And an iPhone will be like, oh, well, we see that we can go faster, but we're going to opt for a more conservative approach.
yeah, I mean, I've noticed that too. Like the network performance of my 15 Pro Max is nowhere near what any of my Samsung phones are, and I think it's just an iPhone thing, honestly.
That's true. True. But hey, that's all I got for this week. Do you have any other tech news that you might have been sitting on?
I don't know. You see the news about the whole SpaceX thing? Oh, it got
I
blocked?
did. What is it? I actually had it here, but I wanted to wait for more to transpire because this one was from Phone Arena, and then they went back and updated and said that nothing is going to be that more information was going to be needed. So I'll show you right here. Hold on. So I saw this article probably about the same time it popped up. Sneed did a video on it also, and then like in the get these ads out the way. Ad, go away. It said here that the early version of the story is incorrect, stated by the FCC has finalized the decision and not grant a waiver to SpaceX. It has been updated to reflect the correct information and will not be decided upon until August 29th. So we still got some time. I want to find out what the FCC is going to actually do, but we have talked about this. We have had discussions.
I just thought it was funny that as of our recent conversations that popped up. So.
Oh yeah. I thought about doing it, but then when I read that, I was like, I might not say nothing yet because I know that the FCC they put rules in place. You showed me other stuff pertaining this, but I didn't want to start saying something yet. I mentioned it last week. It's still an open book. It's going to come down to what the FCC decides. If they're going to allow them to have a higher out of band frequency power. And I don't think they're probably going to end up letting them do that. I don't see them letting them interfere with other networks. They would have to show that they don't interfere with other networks.
Yeah, which is going to be hard to do.
But here's the thing: T-Mobile operates in the same adjacent band, so they would be able to know, wouldn't they?
Right, but it's more the issue with the satellite networks. That's going to be your big concern. Because you and I both know T-Mobile doesn't exactly have a whole lot of experience with satellites. So
that's true. That's true. SpaceX is going to be the one that's going to have to show that. But I'm just saying, like, if they operate on the adjacent bands that's going to be interfered with, what is it? The AWS side is all dish. So that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and then the PCS block, but it really affects all anywhere within that PCS block, not just the adjacent or the adjacent blocks. So I don't know. It'll be interesting once we get a final announcement from the FCC as to what they're going to do. But
that's true. Now, let me ask you this question: what if they end up letting it be a go? I mean, if they say that, yeah, go ahead and have at the. I know that they, like I said, they wanted SpaceX and T-Mobile wanted to have a higher out of band.
They wanted to have a higher transmit power. That's what they wanted.
Right.
Which I would imagine that there would be some extreme pushback from other PCS holders if that gets approved. So that's just my 2 cents. I think you'll see a more aggressive pushback than just like. I think Verizon and AT&T have been pretty nonchalant about their complaints. You know, they haven't really been aggressive about it, but I would imagine that if it does get approved, that you would see some more aggressive pushback from those.
But here's the thing: the whole industry is moving towards satellite as communications. Like I had another one where Global Star is trying to upgrade their satellites for iPhones. So the industry is moving towards this. So if the industry is moving,
companies are trying to remain relevant.
Are you saying an old dog is trying to learn a new trick? Is that what you're saying?
They're trying to sell us some snake oil and call it a new trick.
Oh. Can you roll over, little guy? Sure can.
That's just my opinion, and I can be a jerk, so take it with a grain of salt.
I don't know. But yeah, I've been a non-believer on all this satellite stuff from the beginning. You know that.
Hey, look, I'm eagerly waiting to see it happen. I mean, regardless of whoever it is, I want a better competitive landscape. Hey, look, what T-Mobile's approach, AT&T, Verizon's approach, even like Apple doing their own thing and teaming up with Global Star, whatever their approach is going to end up being.
Right, but didn't Google announced the Google phones have their own satellite solution now too, right?
That I don't know. I know that they said that their OS is ready for the satellite solution, but I don't think that they partner with anybody.
I
will go back and look again, but I don't remember them saying like the new Pixel lineup and the new. I know they said that the OS was satellite ready, but they didn't say anything else about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out over the next few months. But
that's true. That's true. Look, I think that this is gonna put a wrinkle in if the FCC does not approve at least some type of out of band power flux density, that's what they're claiming. They don't approve this. It's gonna SpaceX and T-Mobile saying this is gonna hamper their ability to go nationwide. So
I think this is kind of T-Mobile and SpaceX maybe not doing their due diligence or trying to skirt around the rules. But that's just me.
Reader John says The Pixel is using Garmin for the satellite SOS.
Okay, so they do have their own solution then.
Okay.
That to me seems like almost a better option than relying on the carriers, is having the OEMs do it.
That's true, but then it comes down to the phone. Like, who's Samsung going to end up using?
Whoever they want. Samsung can make that partnership on their own, right?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's like a redundancy for the redundancy. If this doesn't work, this one should.
Yeah. The only benefit to the carriers doing it is that you won't incur additional costs, I guess. Because I know that what Apple was planning on charging for it eventually, right? Like,
I could see them starting to charge for it, but right now there hasn't been enough use cases yet. We're waiting for enough people to get stranded in the desert. That's what we're waiting on.
They're gonna be like, yeah, we got that medevac out there to the middle of the desert. That's gonna be $500 for that emergency call.
oh my god.
Do you accept the new charges, sir? Do you accept the new charges?
All I'm saying is the ambulance already charged you $500 just to come across town to get you. Imagine you got to get one out on a mountaintop.
Oh Lord!
Apple's about to be like, yeah, dog, you wouldn't have got one if it wasn't for us. $500.
Hey, don't let it be a helicopter rescue. Oh, you about to go broke, son. You about to be broke. We had to winch down to come save you. Oh no!
Hey, look, and I know it sounds slightly far fetched, but I mean, I know there are major U.S. cities where there are like private rescue companies that have individual contracts.
Ooh.
Imagine some of those private companies become the go-to rescue for the emergency call. So, for example, there may be one price for a subscription, right? But then a separate price for it, you had to use it in an emergency. So imagine you're like bleeding to death on a mountaintop, and you like, I gotta call 911, and it's a button there that says approved charge for $500.
Hey, we can solve all of that in the radio. It's called Hiker's Insurance.
Be like, hey Siri, yeah. I think I broke both my legs, Siri. Call help. Do you approve these charges?
Do you approve us using your phone to contact services?
Or you try to call your wife and tell her like in your dying moments that you're dying, and it gives her the prison call. Hey,
Lord!
Hey, dumbass on top of a mountain is trying to reach you. Do you
accept these charges? You're like, oh no. I did not accept these charges. I'm dying.
Tell the kids I love them. Okay, we gotta get off here. These charges is running up. It's trying to $500 a minute.
hey, do you remember that commercial where the people were using like the phone, the pay phones to send like messages? They were like, my man was like, "Asa baby, eats a boy." He was like, "Who was that?" Oh, that was John. They're having a boy.
Bro, the funniest crap ever. I haven't done it in so long, but have any of you guys ever sent a text message to a landline?
I think I've done it by accident. Yeah.
Well, in some phone companies, it works. I don't know if y'all are aware of that.
I didn't know that.
If you text a landline, it'll literally ring and then it'll just say the message.
Wow. Wow.
Adam
That's
says,
crazy.
You ain't shit.
Oh Lord, you wouldn't accept the charges.
I think they've turned that off though. I think they had turned. I forgot what year it was when I first knew that was something that worked, and I think a lot of them like didn't keep it though. Like,
oh Lord,
I'm gonna have to look into that and see if that still works for some of these telcos.
I presume it probably doesn't. I'm going to go on a limb and say it probably does not still work.
This is a text message from number 919. Yo, mama ain't shit. Oh.
There go Aries again. Can't believe it. But yo, hey man, I'm telling you, yo, this is gonna be a new day. Look, we talk about insurance on cars. We're gonna have insurance for hiking. We're gonna have the insurance for all this other stuff crap that we're gonna be doing.
Okay, apparently it still works on Verizon. On Verizon landline.
Oh wow.
That's what it says here, bro. Texting a non-mobile phone, including how much it costs. It says it will. This is on the Verizon website. It says it will read your message aloud. Sure, it still works. But they charge you. But they do charge you for doing it.
How much? How much?
25 cents per time you do it.
Oh wow. Now imagine that over satellite. That's a $5. That's a $5 message, sir. Call my mama.
Oh Jesus.
That was the most expensive message I've ever seen. Man.
I'm about to text the landline right now just because.
Oh, it's going on your cell phone bill, sir. It's going on your cell phone bill.
I don't give a damn.
Hey, you supposed to be leaving Verizon. What happened?
Oh, I told you, it's probably still going to happen. I'm still. This remember next month is whenever I find out if they're going to raise me all the way back up to damn $300 or not.
Oh, so it's not this month. It's next.
Yeah. That'll be the year.
And then that's when the family will be ejected over to the competitors.
Well, that's when my bill's going to raise. Yep. And the kids' lines are going to probably get moved first, obviously.
Hey, what is it?
My devices, and I may do the U.S. mobile route if I can get the teleport situation going, and I'm all for it, bro.
Hey, Spectrum is paying for termination fees?
Yeah, but I already have a discounted Spectrum account. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's true.
Yeah, I don't even pay full price to begin with.
Man,
and never will for up to 10 lines.
Oh, dagger.
10 lines at less than half price, sir.
Man, but yo, hey, I want to say thank you. I didn't get a chance to say thank you to EM for showing up and hanging out with us today. But I want to say thank you for rolling with me, hopping in, creating the shenanigans that is tech news. But hey, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for stopping by. If you got any tech news that you would like for me to look at, my YouTube channel is going to be in the description. On for X/Twitter. You can send that to me. I'll take a gander at it, read that up, and add it to the rundown if you're curious about it. Let's see. Reader John just said he's switching to AT&T himself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you don't want to go over there, sir. You don't want to go to AT&T. The Death Star?
You do whatever you got to do, John. Don't listen to this man.
Do what you must. You have to do what you can. Do what you must. But yo, hey, so like I said, if you have a story that you would like for us to talk about, comment about, hit me up on X. Leave that link in there. I'll take a gander at it. If you want to be part of the membership, so you can add as many stories as you like, so you can completely nerd out, join the membership. The tiers will be in my YouTube section, so you can take a look at that. And Mr. Aries, what about you? What's the projects you playing with, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. Still working on the album. It's hopefully going to be ready by mid-October.
And
I'm going to probably be doing a live listening party on a local podcast, most likely. I'm still working. It's still in the works. All the details with that.
Okay.
But, things coming up, and when it comes up, I'll let everybody know.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's
also, some live shows coming up as well, possibly.
Oh, let's go.
I wasn't even looking for those, and somebody threw my name in a hat.
Oh, dang.
So apparently my local music community is very excited for the album. So we're gonna see what happens, man.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, I mean, hey, look, I'm looking to support. I told you I'm gonna put the album art on the back seat of my car. We're gonna get people to get some spins.
Oh yeah, Yep, it will be on. Most likely, at least the plan is it will be on all major streaming platforms. But I'm also going to do some special releases that is going to allow you to actually buy physical copy in more than one way. So
Right. I told you, man, all I need is the 8-track USB stick, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Rita John, you with me, sir? The 8-track USB stick.
Exactly.
Tell me that wouldn't be fire.
Oh, believe me, it's a possibility. At the moment, I'm working with the cassette tape version. My only concern with the cassette tape version, though, right, of the USB stick is that some people's USB ports ain't got enough space for that whole thing to go in the car. like even my car, dude. The spot is probably barely big enough for you to put the stick in if you were to actually use the factory.
Hey, you get the ones where like the USB part pops out, like it comes out on like a little cord.
Out of the tape completely, yeah. But those are not the main ones that are out there. At least not the ones I'm finding.
Oh man.
But either way, that's something that we're looking at.
That's what's up, man. Hey, thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Greatly helps. Greatly appreciate it. And y'all stay up. Do 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 do.